everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday so far. I just got back from work. How's everyone doing? So, I have a whole bunch of tinfoil for us to take a look at today. As the title says, we got leprechauns, we got Atlantis, we have flat earthers, we have Tartaria, really the whole gamut of conspiratorial thought will be on display here today for you. So I hope you're ready for some nuttiness. We are playing bingo, so make sure you get your bingo card ready if you would like. A classic cleanse.
Well, just in time
this one's pretty good.
for St. Patrick's Day, crowds are coming by
Everyone who's seen the leprechaun say yeah!
the dozens to get an up-close view at what some say is a piece of Irish folklore.
Some people in the Crichton area of
Annie Kai, thanks for 46 months.
Mobile say a leprechaun is taking up residence in their neighborhood. A leprechaun. NBC 15's Brian Johnson has more.
I hope the pickle is good, Amber Press.
Curiosity leads to large crowds in Mobile's Crichton community. Many of you bringing binoculars, camcorders, even camera phones to take pictures.
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else seen the leprechaun say yeah?
Eyewitnesses say the leprechaun only comes out at night. If you shine a light in its direction, it suddenly disappears. This amateur sketch resembles what many of you say the leprechaun looks like. Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations for the image.
My theory is it's casting a shadow from the other limb.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff, and it told him to get up in a tree and play a leprechaun.
In fairness, Leprechaun in the Hood is the best of the Leprechaun franchise, so...
Down to the bottom of this. Yeah, it's still on there, guy. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, man.
This guy helping to direct traffic says he's prepared for his encounter with the leprechaun. He's suited up from head to toe.
This wars off spells right here. This is a special leprechaun flute, which has been passed down from thousands of years ago.
Back to the Hood is also pretty good. Which is the one where he gets super high? They're both pretty good.
From my great-great-grandfather who was Irish. I just came to help out.
Others just came to get lucky in hopes a pot of gold may be buried under this tree.
I'm gonna run a backhoe and uproot
Happy birthday, Harold Elbelman.
that tree. I wanna know where to go.
Do I think conspiracy people would think this is real? Not most of them, no. Just because someone is conspiratorial doesn't necessarily mean that they believe all conspiracies. Usually conspiracy theorists have a particular circle that they run in. They exist within a certain tent of conspiracy theories. To be clear, being conspiratorial does make you more likely to believe in other conspiracy theories. The best indicator that you believe one conspiracy theory is that you already believe other ones, but it doesn't inherently mean that this becomes believable. The space one's fine. I don't think it's as good as Jason X, though. Jason X is the ideal slasher space film. Mr. Peach, how you doing?
I want to go. Give me the go. I want to go.
This is Brian Johnson, NBC 15 News.
People will do anything for a pot of gold. I mean, anything.
You know what I like? I like the amateur sketch of the leprechaun. It
Yeah,
looks like somebody
yeah.
got a really good look at it and got that good drawing out there.
Who did that? I want to know who sketched that.
I don't know. Maybe Brian sketched it.
Doodling.
That was a good story.
Funny. Very cute. Alright, so today, like I said, we have a bunch of conspiracies. We are going to play bingo. If you like the stream and want to help keep it going, you can always support it by gifting subs, becoming a subscriber yourself, becoming a member on YouTube, or gifting memberships. And there's always bits and super chats. Alright? With my plug out of the way, let's get into it. What are we going to start with today? Let's just jump into the leprechaun thing. Why not? Why wait? Let's just go. This is a Super Soldier video. This was the St. Patrick's Day video for the Super Soldier people. Classy stuff. I think that they think leprechauns are aliens or something.
Right, is she there? But
Is that racist?
just make sure. Trying not to get the copyright issue there. But hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Soldier Talk. Today is a special show on St. Patrick's.
It's a little funny how we do cartoonify Irish American stuff on St. Patrick's Day. Does anyone from Ireland have any opinions on that? Like, do they just find it weird? Like, imagine if there was, like, imagine if on the 4th of July in Ireland, they dressed up excessively in, like, red, white, and blue and got really drunk and, like, played stereotypical American music. I don't know. It'd be funny. Weird, though. Excessive Observer, thanks for 58 months.
Patrick's Day. Over here is usually the way I celebrate St. Patrick's Day is at the pub, right? So we can't get a beer, but since the St. Patrick's Day is lying on a Monday today,
And be Volpine.
Appropriate to go out. But anyway, but we're having a great round table panel here. If we're gonna go discuss about leprechauns, fairies, fatum, elves, all sorts of fun things today. So everybody, welcome to the show, audience members. I wasn't sure if there was a scheduling issue. I set the time at 5 today, but it looked like it was on 3, but I couldn't figure out. Maybe it was a different time zone. Anyway, well, here we are. So thank you all for being patient. Let's bring our special guests on here today. We have Kimberly. Go ahead and unmute yourself. We have Kimberly Lusana. Now, part of the reason why I'm running late is because I was trying to get the font type, but it doesn't. I know, trust me, it does say Kimberly Lusana. Kimberly, how are you doing today?
That was not a good font choice. Wow, that's completely indecipherable. That's a shame.
Well, thanks. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, thank you. Happy St.
Hi,
Patrick's.
Catherine.
Catherine, go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's.
Good. Oh no, it did that thing. Shit. Sorry.
Hey, it's former Navy SEAL Cade Courtley, and the next major
Hi,
storm
Cade.
could leave you in the dark.
In a controversial new bill that just passed, all 50 states approved $710 back for U.S. drivers with no DUIs.
I don't think that's true. All the ads on Rumble are scams. I've told people this before. But if you get any ads on Rumble, which you shouldn't go to Rumble, the only reason I go to Rumble is to find stuff for this show, just all scam ads. If anyone in your family is like over the age of 40 and they use Rumble, warn them. Because all the ads are scams. Every single one. I've yet to find a legitimate ad on Rumble, and that's not a bit.
Several years with an issue involving
Chilling scamming on the bingo card.
discrimination, and because I made a discrimination charge for arguing.
What if they're under 40 but still dumbasses? Sure. Okay. Let me put it this way. If there's someone who's tech illiterate and is an easy mark for scams, which they probably are if they're on Rumble in the first place, warn them.
Barbie discrimination.
Rumble bad? Is BitChute any better? No, BitChute is... Well, you'll notice slightly different vibes. Like, Rumble will be more like alt-health scams, and BitChute will be like tactic-cool scams. Like, you gotta buy our special scope if you want to beat the commies. You know what I mean? And, like, maybe they'll actually send you a scope, but it's probably a piece of shit. M. Scheffler, thanks for 39 months, says, if you're on Rumble, you kind of get what you deserve. Yeah.
Got in trouble a little bit for that. But still in the swing of things. And I was married in 2007.
Osroll, thanks for following.
Dr. Anthony Ches, who is a super soldier. And as you know, after meeting you, James, and some of the other super soldiers, found out about my participation in all of the programs.
Dead air.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Catherine, maybe bring the mic a little closer to your mouth, and that way we can hear you a little bit. It was breaking up a little bit, I think.
Okay. You didn't really hear me?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
It's great if your forehead is the guest. Oh, God. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, do you remember a conspiracy theory person who thought everyone was not from Africa, was a Saxon or something similar? What happened to them? To be clear, they didn't think everyone was Saxon. I believe that they posited that there were different origins for Homo sapiens because they were racist. They're like a white nationalist neo-Nazi type. So I think the issue was more so that they were trying to say white people were separate from other, racial groups of human beings, which isn't true, fun fact. But I do remember that guy. He's still around. We just don't watch him a lot because most of his conspiracies just come down to, like, Nazi era, Aryan, like, Nordic conspiracies and pseudo, like, archaeology. It's real crap. Yeah, old school, quote, scientific racism shit. Measuring skulls.
All right.
And I don't think that's fun. You know, a lot of the conspiracies we watch tend to be interesting, some of them funny, most of them weird, some of them intense, but I try to keep it on balance, relatively light, and that's just frustrating. It's the same, one of the reasons I don't cover, like, Holocaust deniers, too. Like, there's no way to make that entertaining. You can make it informative, you can make it interesting, but it's real depressing and just pisses everyone off. And also, I don't think those people deserve the time of day. So, yeah, just, I try to keep it on balance, relatively light for what we cover.
Right, so that was, so Captain's gonna share.
What was the pseudoscience where you measured heads and bumps on heads? Phrenology. I have a phrenology head around here somewhere. Bought it at the mall.
The second leg of today's show, where we're going to discuss a little bit about this fairy cathedral. So, but that's coming up later. And by the way, I have a special guest here today. His name is Toby. So hello, Toby. Oh, I'm Toby. Yes. So Toby's here today, and actually, I'll bring.
You know, when I saw that Super Soldier did this Leprechaun video, I was really hoping that that lady that channels stuff had channeled a leprechaun. But alas. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub. Minute to kick off a hype train.
The mic closer to me, maybe you'll hear me better. But so don't mind him. So he's gonna.
Menu Frog says, so my flat earth Tartarian friend is now into denying the Holocaust. FYI, she's indigenous, I don't get it. Unfortunately, that can happen because a lot of these conspiracies, it's a rabbit hole, it's a pipeline, and the bedrock, as we've discussed, of any conspiracy, if you get deep enough, ends up at anti-Semitism, at least conspiracies in the Western world. It's real fucked up. That's why it's dangerous for people to get into conspiracies, at least one of the reasons. People might think, oh, they're just into Bigfoot, or maybe they get into Flat Earth or something, and it seems innocuous. Certainly it's strange, and maybe you don't understand it and think it's weird, but maybe you think, well, at least it's not a dangerous conspiracy. The problem is, these communities are full of anti-Semitic people or neo-Nazis who are using those spaces to recruit vulnerable people or recruit people who, how do I put this, are susceptible to being manipulated. So, if you spend enough time in these conspiracy spaces, you're gonna get exposed to, like, Nazi sympathizing material more and more and more, and you might not even realize it. Like, even if you're what people would consider a so-called good person beforehand, it's like, you know, boiling frogs, you know? The temperature goes up so slow, you don't even necessarily realize that your personal Overton window has shifted straight into neo-Nazism. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying these people aren't culpable for checking their own thoughts and things that people tell them. I'm just saying that, like, people can slip into it without consciously trying, even if it does, at the end of the day, fall on them to make sure that they're not doing that. Nonetheless, that's why it happens, is people don't necessarily know it's happening to them. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. I should have got some little Velcro around, but anyway. So, now, let's go ahead and bring...
Not a very good pre-planner for a super soldier. Green guy with $1 tip says, my wife fixed me. It was a black guy on Jeff Holiday who thought black people are superior to everyone else and they made white people. Ah, yes, we've covered those people before too, with the Yakub guy with the giant head that created white people. And they say white people were created by mixing black people with, like, animals. So white people are, like, some sort of, like, chimera Frankenstein monster. Fun stuff.
Kimberly on. So, Kimberly, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, because I actually got your bio here, but I want to hear your own words.
I know, Annie Kai, but the frogs being boiled metaphor, despite the fact that the actual basis for the idiom not being true, people understand the idiom, so I still use it. It's the same reason people might say that, you know, you follow off a cliff like lemmings. That wasn't true. Disney, faked that for a documentary. But nonetheless, it's a cultural idiom that people understand, so it still makes sense to use it in vernacular.
You want? Okay. Well, I've been doing this.
The crystal momming to neo-Nazi pipeline exists because it's all predicated on poor logic and magical thinking. Yeah.
For quite some time.
The pretty famous quote that someone says, those that can make you believe absurdities can cause you to commit atrocities. A lot of that in original Nazism. A lot of their beliefs were founded on what are basically conspiracy theories. Scary, but not something I think gets touched on enough in media about Nazism, about the original Nazism, was that a lot of the belief system was basically conspiracy theory.
Many, many years. I don't even know where to begin. It's a long bio. I am a super soldier. I have been, I started Super Soldier Coalition about 7 or 8 years ago, and where I counsel people on the super soldier traumas, targeted individuals.
You do a thing on neo-Nazi occultism? Yeah.
Trauma, and all of that is part of what we're going to be talking about later on today. So I'm trying to think of what else I need to say in my bio. You have my bio,
Yes,
don't you?
yes. I'll go ahead and let's plug this in. So
yeah, please
talk about
so
leprechauns.
Today we're joining with Kimberly Lasana as she uncovers the hidden world of the leprechaun, a little known yet fascinating.
The leprechaun, is that the plural of leprechaun? Is leprechaun? Like cacti? Sure, why not? I've always just heard it leprechauns. But whatever.
Fascinating species within the Fatum realm, nestled deep in the lush landscapes of southwestern Ireland.
I have a copy of Darby O'Gill and the Little People around here somewhere. Is anyone interested in my copy of Darby O'Gill and the Little People? It's on VHS. So that does not count for the other space, because it's VHS.
Ireland. These tiny beings live in an enchanted city trees. Vast, multi-leveled structures teeming with life, unseen by the human eyes. Unlike traditional leprechauns, the leprechauns have a unique subgenomic identity with large, expressive eyes and clothing woven from nature itself. Their existence bridges.
Clothing woven from nature itself? Motherfucker, you mean cotton? Like, what do you mean clothes woven from nature? Synthetic fibers are relatively recent. Humans do that too. What are you talking about?
The physical and mystical, tapping in.
Leprechauns, or sorry, leprechauns, are all just allergic to polyester.
To energies beyond human understanding. Are they guardians of lost treasure, mischievous tricksters, or something far more mysterious?
Not very lost treasure if they have it, is it?
Today, we're going to discover the truth in this immersive exploration of Ireland's hidden realm. In the second segment, Kimberly will share part 1 of her series exploring the shadowy world of Umbrella Corporation's Division 1, a secretive faction that...
Before someone says it, you're like, oh, Umbrella Corporation, like Resident Evil? Ha ha ha. Literally, yes. Literally, they believe that the Umbrella Corporation from the fictional video game and film series Resident Evil is a real corporation that exists in real life.
Recruits and conditions children with heightened intuitive abilities. Through an exchange of resources and technology, these children are taken, not bought, and subjected to intense psychological manipulation under the corporation's cradle-to-grave operation. Once inside, recruits undergo...
Popular media equals evil? No, I would call that more... If I'd call that anything, it would be predictive programming, because it's media revealing something secret about the world. So let's call that predictive programming. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, my plant starts in the wife's office are sprouting. Some of them are from seeds I picked off and kept from last year's stuff. That's cool.
Rigorous profiling, brain.
I've never been a plant person, and I want to be responsible for keeping anything alive that can't love me back. Why cats are great.
Mapping.
They'll love you.
Extreme trauma-based conditioning to fracture their minds, creating multiple psychological alters. But why? To expand the human mind's capacity and manufacture controllable sub-personalities for Umbrella's hidden agenda. What is the true...
Umbrella Entertainment should do a box set of all the Resident Evil movies, included the animated ones. I love Umbrella. They put out really good box sets. And even though they're based in Australia, and a lot of their products say their region be encoded, they're not really. I don't know if they do that intentionally or not, but like, give you an example. Here's my Umbrella Oh wait, this is a bad example because this is 4K. Anyway, there's my Terrifier box set from them. How about this one? This is my Full Moon Fright box, which has Demonic Toys, Doll Man versus Demonic Toys, and Demonic Toys 2. These all say they're Region B, but they're not. They work in my American Blu-ray player. I don't know why, but it's a thing. Anyway, yeah, I mentioned Blu-rays on the bingo card. I couldn't help myself. Couldn't help myself.
Purpose behind these fractured minds, and how does this deep does this operation go? Kimberly will...
Phoenix says, you keep us alive and we love you parasocially. Thank you. I don't keep you alive, but I entertain you sometimes, so thank you.
Will uncover this disturbing reality behind the secretive program. So she is a MCSE and RHCSA. What is that, Kimberly?
Microsoft Systems Engineer and a Red Hat Systems Engineer. Linux.
Very good. She's...
That was my prior job.
Have you missed anything good? Only that apparently the plural of leprechaun is leprechoi.
She's also an advanced...
And Green Guy with another tip says, but I eat them, and half are for Beltane, aka Mayday. You're eating... What kind of seed... Wait, what kind of seeds are they that you're eating? Like, I eat sunflower seeds. Can't really think about eating other houseplant seeds, though.
Military...
CE Glass says, I know nothing about Blu-rays. What does Region B indicate? So region locking is a thing for DVDs and Blu-rays. So like a Region B is usually like a DVD or Blu-ray from Europe, and it won't play on Region A players. Region A is North America, maybe South America too, but at least North America. And then Region 3 is most of Asia. So like China, Japan, South Korea, Vietnam, etc. You know, so usually if you bought a Blu-ray from like Australia, you couldn't play it in America with an American Blu-ray player, but you can with Umbrella for some reason. I hope I'm not like blowing up their spot here. Like, I hope they're not gonna get in trouble. No one watches me who's of importance in this anyway, but like, I always got the vibe that they were doing it like a wink wink. Like, yeah, it's Region B, wink. We'll put it on the box, but if you buy it in Region A, you're fine.
Trained remote viewer, psychic intuitive.
I'll shut the fuck up about Blu-rays now. I know it's tinfoil. It's tinfoil today.
Healer, channeler, and teacher with over...
That's why you need a PS5. It'll play anything. Not true, actually. Not true. I have a PlayStation 5. It still region locks things. That's actually a common misbelief that it is region-free. Untrue.
15 years of experience sharing her abilities with the public. She was abducted by the CIA at age 5.
It's fucked up that physical media is region locked. The new stuff isn't anymore. 4K is not. 4K is the newest one, and that's global. There's no more region locking on it, so. Progress!
And subjected to MK Ultra mind control and black projects within the United States government and secret space program. As a child, she was forced to participate in classified operations, including the Montauk Project, Project Looking Glass, Project Witchblade, and Project Seagate. She remains an active military.
Project Stargate too.
She's claiming she was abducted by the CIA so she could be inducted into the secret space program where she met Leprechauns.
Project Stargate.
Very good. She remains.
Oh, for Project Stargate, you know, like the show Stargate, because again, they think things from TV shows really happened.
An active military asset utilized by the government, military, corporate, and space programs. Kimberly's monk.
Was the region locking thing a tech thing or an artificial market thing? It's a market thing. It's just because there's distributors in different countries and they sort of have cut up their they all have their territories, let's say, and they don't want to step on each other's toes.
The first group of female children taken to camp.
It's a capitalism thing.
Camp Hero, where Montauk Project unfolded. Trained in the famous dentist chair or tripsit.
Also, historically, something like a DVD might have cost less in some European country than like the United States. They didn't want people arbitraging DVDs.
Chair. Kimberly was trained alongside Duncan Cameron's backup in the time travel chair, and additionally, she was the one child.
The time travel chair? That's lame. I'm gonna put this out there. If you create a time machine, don't make it a chair. Make it a police box, or a phone booth, or a DeLorean, or some kind of rocket sled. Maybe you just think about the past at the Grand Hotel real hard.
That opened up the portal on August 12, 1983, to send Duncan Cameron and Al Bielek back in time to close the time loop that was originally created by the USS Eldridge in 1943. Beyond her Montauk involvement, Kimberly has alters in military corporations such as Umbrella, Dark Fleet, and Kruger. Several.
You like Rocket Sled? Name the time travel movie that used a rocket sled as the time machine.
Major motion pictures.
What about a tunnel? Time tunnel is acceptable.
Including Dr. William Birkin from the Resident Evil.
What about the titular time machine? That can get away with it because it's the original, and it is literally just a chair, like a spinning disc behind it. At least according to the movies.
Film series.
Time Cop, yes!
And Johnny Tran from the Fast and Furious film series have depicted some of her alters.
Someone said Buckaroo Banzai, which is a fair guess, but Buckaroo Banzai's rocket car didn't go through time, it traveled through the 8th dimension, which allowed him to traverse the mountain and helped those interdimensional fugitives escape or something. And he's John Lithgow. Not Buckaroo, the scientist. It's been a while.
Kimberly has an extensive client base and utilizes her advanced psionic training and software application to give her clients the most accurate, undisclosed military.
What about a Sherman tank? That can't get up to 88 miles per hour. Also, I'm talking about movies. Stop.
Sorry. Information available to her at this time. Her website is supersoldiercoalition.org. How was that, Kimberly?
Excellent. Thank you.
Now, I wish I had more about Catherine, but because she does have a regular day job. So for that matter, Catherine is an amazing remote viewer, and we've done many sessions together, and she's helped participate on the Trump message. How many people here in the chat have seen the Trump message? And also,
that's a message that they made up and used AI to voice, but they claimed they channeled it psychically from Donald Trump's brain. Surprise! He agrees with all of their super soldier nonsense. Who would have thought that a psychic message they channeled from Donald Trump would agree with them?
So the Dr. Martin Luther King message. So thank you for all that, Catherine. And today we have a message from Toby. But this was actually channeled from Kimberly. Now, Kimberly, why don't you tell us about Toby? What can you tell us about him?
Well, okay. So I should probably say that once I do a channeling, or if I'm in a session, I'm doing sessions, once that stops, I disconnect from it and I don't log it into long-term memory. So as James, you know this.
Get to the leprechauns. Holy shit.
My uncle and that planet fell, but parts of. So, Leprechaun, Toby's perspective. Somewhere in southwestern Ireland, nestled along lush green fields and dense forests, lies a hidden world.
Lay a hidden world.
Humans wander here, which is just how they prefer it. They call themselves the Leprechaun, a distinct phenotype within the Fatum realm. Though often
Distinct phenotype within the Fatum realm just makes me afraid of Fey Nazis. I'm a little afraid of the term distinct phenotype.
mistake for fairies, they are entirely different species. These tiny people, only several inches high, make their homes within fairy trees, tall, twisted, and full of life. These are no ordinary trees, but city trees, vast living structures that contain entire civilizations. Their dwellings,
like the Keebler elves. I get it.
Stretch high into the branches and deep below the earth, forming intricate, multi-leveled cities unseen by the human eyes. To further clarify your understanding of what the leprechaun tribe consists of, we have supplied the readership audience with a dictionary definition. Okay, so let's start with the word leprechaun. It means a mischievous elf of Irish folklore, usually believed to reveal the hidden hiding place of treasure if caught. Right.
Did you need to do the dictionary definition of a leprechaun? What are you, an unoriginal valedictorian?
So,
Kagami says, to be fair, if you give the real Trump enough money and praise, he'll believe whatever bullshit you want. Same thing with Joe Rogan.
And the meaning of the word leprechaun is a subgenomic category of mischievous elf of Irish folklore, usually believed to reveal the hiding place of treasure if caught. So the leprechaun have human-like skin with cartoonish features, large round eyes.
I have human-like skin too.
And some with facial hair. They don't wear hats, but dress in clothing made from natural material.
I don't believe you that leprechauns don't wear hats. That's bullshit. I straight up don't
woven
believe
from
you.
Flowers, leaves, and other substances.
There's a leprechaun on your shoulder right now. It's wearing a hat. You're such a liar.
Unfamiliar to humans. Existing in a quasi-physical realm, they have access to materials and energies beyond human comprehension.
Claiming they exist in a quasi-physical realm is a great excuse to not have any physical evidence of their existence. Well, they're not really in our realm. They're sort of in a quasi-physical state. Alright, well, you're in a quasi-idiot state.
Some of what they use is recognizable, while other aspects of their world remains a mystery. They are not solitary beings, but part of a vast, interconnected network, one that links them to leprechauns and the unseen forces of the realm. Contrary to human myths, there are no female there are female leprechauns, and they also have families.
I thought they were gonna say there were no female leprechauns. I thought they were straight up gonna be like a single gender species, and it was just gonna be incredibly gay.
In their realm, their homes...
Which would be ironic, considering how many Irish Americans really didn't want gay people marching in their parades.
resemble the cozy...
Leprechaun rights. Leprechaun rights.
Earthbound, Earth-type dwellings with, like hobbits, blending seamlessly with nature. So, Kimberly, so that's the notes, but I'd like to hear you talk a little bit about it. So tell us a little bit more. What can you tell us?
About the wood, about the wood elves.
Well, the wood elves were a distinct, what do you say, a phenotype, right, within the so there wasn't just the elves. There's the fairies, the leprechaun, and they're probably they're the goddess, right? They worship Mother Nature, Sophia.
Yes. I think that was in the channeling somewhere. I should have looked over the channeling again.
Okay.
But from what I remember, kind of,
this is so unprofessional. See, those other channelers, they'll talk to a caveman or a Neanderthal, and he's right there. They talk to him live. This hack has to do pre-interviews with the ghosts, and then she talks. Lame.
Is that, let me just see if I'm going to try.
She has less good improv skills, I'm guessing.
Try to tune them
and the bar is low.
In a little bit so I can get their help with this. Okay, so what is your uncle's name again?
Oh, you mean the one that... yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elrude and Toby, right? Okay, let me just see what they're, let me just bring them in. Oh, there's a lot of them here. They're here for the show. Yeah, they're all...
Are they enjoying it so far?
They're looking forward to the video. They want to see what you've done. they're saying that, okay, so I have a lot of clients that are from the Fatum realm, or the fairy realm.
Do you? Do they usually pay cash or a personal check? How does that work? Credit cards from the Fey realm work with like your Stripe thing? Do they have to have touch to pay now? They still on the swipe in the Fey wilds?
But it's more than just leprechauns.
Do you have to report that on your taxes when you get income from the Feywilds, or is that like a non-taxable event because it exists in another plane of existence? Is that like a kind of like a duty-free shop? Victoria says Feypal. Oh, that's pretty good.
It's leprechauns, fairies,
Dimensions beyond our own on the bingo card, by the way.
sylphs, gnomes, all sorts of
What about unicorns?
Unicorns.
Do they exist in that realm?
Yes, they do. So what we found out is that the Fatum live in a universe that is not a part of ours. Now it's more than just, there's multiverses. Okay, so the universes end up in like clusters. So we live in a universal structure of 7 universes around a cosmic central sun. Well, they don't live in.
Can I get a rundown on those universes?
In that structure.
Is it gonna be, sometimes when they do the universe thing, they'll do like Midgard, Vanheim, the Jotunheim. They'll just steal the stuff from Norse mythology sometimes, and I'm wondering if it's that.
They live in a totally different dimensional situation where they don't, they're not subject to the same rules that we are here in physical reality. So they sit adjacent to us, and they're capable of going from, let's just say, the first dimension all the way up through, let's just say 13. There's
13 dimensions? Wow, that's crazy. Normally I only hear these people talk about up to like the 5th dimension. We're not even halfway there. Cool beans. Does that mean if we all get absconded to like the 5th dimension, we're gonna have to listen to 5th dimensional people talk about conspiracies about like the 9th and 10th dimensions? It's gonna be obnoxious.
More than that, but I'm going to use 13. Okay, so they can.
Am I gonna see Death of a Unicorn at some point? Not in theaters though. I haven't gone to a movie theater in a very long time.
Go up and down.
It's just not worth the price. Generally, if you could catch a matinee, maybe it wouldn't be quite as bad. It's so expensive to go to the movies, especially when things go on like VOD within like a month most times now. Especially smaller films that aren't like big tentpole Marvel movies or whatever thing Warner Brothers is pooping out.
That scale, they don't have to ascend. They don't have to meditate. They just do it. They have access to.
Cocaine Dogman says, if there was a service to let you stream movies available at your local cinema at home, would you want that? I would, especially if you could pause it. That's a thing. It just only exists for super rich people. That exists. It's just very, very, very expensive.
All of.
Yes, just a dimension beyond our own.
All of these dimensions at the same time. So again, they are a realm that is known for magic, and yes, magic is real. And
she says it so proudly, doesn't she? Yes, you idiots, that thing that we all universally agree isn't real, and it's literally a synonym for nonsense. Yeah, I proudly believe in magic. Cool. Cool.
They have, they're the only ones that really have this ability. And it's, what we found out was it's a closed universe. Not everybody gets to go into this universe anytime they want. As a matter of fact, nobody gets into this universe without actually having an incarnation first. If you don't have an incarnation, the leprechauns, the fairies, the sylphs, the gnomes, they tend to stay away from the people that they do not have a genetic connection with. So if you have a genetic connection, they will come when called. But the real interesting part about being in the Fatum is this magical power that they have. And believe me, everybody is trying to get into this realm to grab that that power.
What if I want to get out of this dimension and just go maybe to like a dimension that's like a pretty comfortable sitting room that I could just chill in for a few hundred years? Because I'm gonna be honest, this universe is fucking exhausting. So like, you guys can have the leprechaun power or whatever we're talking about. Maybe like a comfy pillow dimension. That'd be pretty good.
Including the Dracos, you know, negative gray, all the extraterrestrials are trying to get into this realm. So when they find humans that are incarnated in this realm, they tend to focus on them and trying to get access into the Fatum.
Well, thank you. Catherine, do you resonate with that? Do you feel like you might have...
Do you resonate with that? That's such a crackpot way to ask if someone concurs. Do you resonate with that? You need the talking spirit stick. Just Peach with $1 tip says, the woman on the bottom looks like she's sucking on a lemon. I don't think she likes going on after the leprechauns. What? Are you saying that somehow talking about leprechauns delegitimizes her very real thing?
That incarnation over there in the Fatum realm.
I really never honestly focused on that yet. So, but I wouldn't be surprised because of our talks that we had about a...
I wouldn't be surprised if that's how the Fey realm works. What a thought. What a thought process.
Making a monastery and then a school. So, there's probably some connection, especially from Irish part.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, let's go ahead and bring up Toby. What do you say, Kimberly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So, oh wait. So let's just let people know that. Okay. So you and I, like we always do, we sit around and we remote view and channel and ask these beings for information. So we locked onto Elrude, which is your uncle in the Wood Elves, and we found your...
He has a Wood Elf uncle?
...incarnation, which is Toby.
Well, Toby was a leprechaun. We actually...
yeah, I mean...
We did come up with the name. I was trying to find those notes, but...
or Toby, or who... What was... I don't remember the name.
We looked at the guy who pranked the Secret Soldier program people, right? I don't remember if I watched it. I don't know if we watched it on stream.
The first set of the notes had it all, but I don't see it in this set. So I will go looking for that set of notes. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and play the video. What do you say? Okay.
Cool.
Okay, quiet on the set.
Well, now, top of the morning to you.
I didn't know they were gonna give the leprechaun a voice. Uses AI on the bingo card.
The name's Toby. So it is. And we live in the grand
name is Toby!
old network of city trees. We're causing top of the morning.
Okay, what the fuck? I'm sorry, I need a minute. This is a lot. I gotta restart this. This is a lot. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, quiet on the set.
Well, now, top of the morning to you. The name's Toby. So it is. And we live in the grand old network of city trees. We're cousins keeping watch of Ireland, Scotland, and the UK they do. This very region holds the greatest gathering of...
Okay, is it fair to say AI has not figured out Irish accents yet? Are there any Irish people here who can confirm? Am I crazy, or is this like a really bad Irish accent? Even like it's a computer and it can't do it. Hannah puts her head in her hands on the bingo card.
Kind in the whole wide world, it does.
It does! It does!
There are millions of leprechauns scattered.
There are millions of leprechauns
across the planet, but you'll find most of us nestled in the southern part of this isle. Ah, but the cold. Sure, 'tis no friend of ours. You don't be seeing us in the likes of Alaska or Scandinavia, no sir. We be seasonal folk. We're taking our leave when the winter rolls in, heading back to the warmth within the Fathom realm. Aye, 'tis a place crafted right for our comfort, keeping the chill at bay and the air always sweet. Now, as far for us leprechauns, you might have heard we got a fondness for gold and green, and sure enough there be truth to it. But it ain't for the reasons you might think. You see, we exist in the golden emerald rays. We do for our own kind. Creating gold is as easy as breathing. And like you humans,
you should crash the world economy. It would be hilarious. Toreador says this is why Trump wanted to check Fort Knox. The leprechaun stole all the gold.
We don't be seeing gold as something of value, or trade, or gold in exchange of value, or as a commodity. Oh no.
Oh no.
'Tis but a natural thing to us. It is. We do love teasing your folk with our golden ways, leaving trinkets here and there to set your hearts racing with a bit of mischief. Don't be thinking we leprechauns are all work.
Ad break, which it's gonna skip, sorry.
And no play. Sure, and we love a good laugh.
That'd be making Toby a
never hurt
a dull boy.
Ever so often we find ourselves in the mood of a bit of trickery with you humans, leaving behind a gold coin. And
it's like, and I know it's AI, so it's just a program, but it's like I can hear it struggling and wanting to fucking die. Like I can hear it trying to...
or even a wee penny in exchange for something that...
It feels like the AI is embarrassed, and I know that that's not possible, but I cannot describe this as anything else other than it feels like the AI knew it should be embarrassed to be reading this.
Caught our fancy. So if you ever find a wee golden trinket lying about, we might be after catching one of our playful tricks. And if you'd be lucky enough to find the right one, well, who knows what magic might follow. I got a keen eye for treasure, but not the kind you might be thinking. Tis the time.
Not the kind you might be thinking? The fuck does that mean? Jay's a proxy with a link.
The unique, the cute.
How long does this fucking leprechaun message go on for? Oh my god! Oh my god! Do you have any idea how long this fucking leprechaun message goes? Oh fuck! No! Why did I pick this video? No! It goes on for like 15 more minutes! And it dies of laughter on the bingo card. There you go.
Things that delight us the most. Art supplies, bits of jewellery, glistening beads,
bits of jewellery,
and trinkets of all sorts. The very things you toss without a second thought. We see them for the wonders they truly are. We gather these bits and baubles to craft furniture.
Someone asked for a link. Here's the link. You disgust me. How could you want this in your life?
We've art and breathe new life to what ye
Orion Cooper with a $5 super chat says, and
humans might call rubbish. Being the electric and artistic folk we are, We turn the ordinary into masterpieces of our own fancy.
Okay, I'll skip through it and see if he says anything crazy, and then we'll be done, because we've spent like an hour on this video. I know.
We leprechauns do love a good laugh. There's, oh no, Ion. We got ourselves advanced technology, too.
Like, the AI is, like, as it's reading it, like, what the fuck are you talking?
There's the nose on your face. But 'tis not the only thing we rely on. We got ourselves advanced technology, too.
Of course!
We do.
Yeah, why not?
Free energy. A wondrous...
Oh, they have free energy! That's crazy! Believe sci-fi technology exists on the bingo card. I really did not expect to get sci-fi technology from the Leprechaun video. Lilac says, good news with a link. Oh god.
This is Justin, the Republican politician from Minnesota who introduced a bill to classify Trump derangement syndrome as a mental illness, has been arrested for allegedly soliciting sex from a teen. Not only that, the alleged incident occurred on the same exact day that he introduced that bill.
I don't know if that's good news as much as it's very predictable news. Whatever.
Mix on nature's materials and a clever...
A Trump supporter is a pedophile? What? That's crazy.
Crafting. Something truly unique to our world. And speaking of magic, that's why so many of us from across the great multiverse have been trying to find their way in, poking for a path into freedom. That's why reptilian folks and others besides
reptilians
such a fierce interest in our reality.
Reptilians on the bingo card. The reptilians are mounting an offensive of the Feywild. The reptilian aliens are trying to invade the land of the Fey folk. This is epic shit right here.
Now humans, ye can visit Sir.
That's kind of an interesting idea for a story. Aliens invade Earth, but they're not interested in humans. They're interested in all the magical shit that secretly actually exists in the world. Like all the mythical things that exist that humans don't know about. They just don't give a shit about humans. They care about all the magic stuff. Toreador says, I too would like to get into a Feydom. Ugh.
Enough. There have been plenty of tales written down in your books and old manuscripts telling of those strange little slips between the worlds. It's rare, mind you, but happens it does. And if you have the right sort of technology, and of course I say so, why then, you might just step into our realm yourself. But fear not, with a wee bit of magic, and to see it, that life upon this grand earth may thrive once more. It's very reason, you see, that your bodies are a rare and precious thing, one of the most sought after commodities in the whole wide cosmos.
I'm sorry, is the leprechaun telling me they're gonna steal me for my organs?
Aye, there's countless beings across the galaxies and even beyond are watching with keen eyes, studying the grand unfolding of the events in his ever-busy Earth.
Chat, the cosmic leprechaun is warning me the reptilians want my spleen again.
And these be no ordinary times, no indeed. There's a great shift in the air, and the whole universe knows it. An enigmatic age, this, and ye humans stand right at the heart of it. This very planet, you see, it be a grand convergence point, where multiple realms do meet. Until that point,
like evermore,
day, we send you the greatest love and joy this year of 2025 can bring. As for the super soldier calls, well now, we be given the proper look. You can be sure of that.
Okay, enough. How's everyone?
annoyed. He seemed annoyed that it went on that long. Like, then you fucking made it. Listen to him.
Okay, enough of that.
What made you make this? Why are you... I understand why I'm upset I wasted time on this. You put it out into the world. How do you have the fucking gall? Where do you get off to thinking you get to act like you're being put upon by watching this? You made it. You made the video. Okay, fuck the super soldier program. I'm moving on. Do we have evidence being self-evident? I don't think so. M. Scheffler with 100 bits says this accent is the worst thing AI has ever produced by a wide margin, worse than the worst art it has ever produced, and art is of course in quotes. Okay, what else do we have? Where's that goddamn Atlantis video? I need something easier. Let's go.
Today we're looking at the Patarak Atlantis. Remember, Patarak means the way. Okay, 1. Likum, my Marar Karadu, beloved children, loves of my life, jewels of my Ayantwi eyes. 2. There was much said about Maatal Atlantis, the site...
You miss Robot John. Me too. Penikagami says the aliens are coming for our banana organs so they can reproduce and harvest our life energy as a power source. Good news, Hannah. You'll get that free bottom surgery you've been wanting. That would be great. That would be awesome. Even just an orchiectomy. Just do them. Just take them. I could... You think if I... No, it's a joke, but is that Twitch TOS safe? I won't, just in case.
Of
Never mind.
Vacations. 3. It was told in the far-off lands that there was a time when Sabatat, Wusahat, Sirius, and Orion were not apart from Pa-Kawak Taha, the planet Earth. Pa-Patatat, the heavens. 4. It was known that Sabatat, Sirius star constellation, was ruled by Nasatatu, female rulers. 5. And it was known that Saat, Orion star constellation, was ruled by Nasatu, male rulers. 6. Both were...
They just look like Dr. Fate.
Natharu.
It's just... The AI just stole the costume for Dr. Fate. Hold on. The fun thing about knowing a ton of pop culture stuff is that you can look at literally any AI image and immediately know where it's plagiarizing from. Like, it's not even a question. There's Dr. Fate, and here's the fucking guys. Looks like Dr. Fate mixed with Shredder a little bit.
Agreeable, Wahanum, overseers, benevolent. 7. Respecting each other.
Naruto fan,
so
thanks for following.
Were joined. 9. And it was recorded that this Natharu incarnated from the first of these 4 worlds 24,000 years ago and walked Pa-Kawak Taha, the earth, ground, as Mufthathu, guardians.
Oh, I don't read Cyrillic. Anyone who reads Cyrillic, is that okay or is that a troll? I'm guessing the latter, but...
10. While others who came to Pa-Kawak...
Wait, it says... Yeah, I don't read Cyrillic.
Earth, for other reasons of their choice. Many were disagreeable. 11. And dwelt in caves and hillsides on the outside of the Madnan garden. 12. Where they used Homo erectus as laborers. 13. As they mined for gold. 14. Pa-Natharu...
Okay, I'm done with this video too. He's literally just reading his Moorish Science Temple Bible thingy. Well, let's move on from that. How do I feel about SVO? What's SVO? I don't know what that is. Oh, the Russian invasion of Ukraine? I think that Russia should probably not invade sovereign countries, because that's a bad thing to do.
I'm going to give you proof in this video that we are living in a matrix. It is my increasing belief that third dimensional Earth ended in 1999.
I knew Prince was onto something.
Listen, there's no coincidence that the movie The Matrix was made in 1999. I do believe that that movie is prophetic. It has been my experience because I used to work in the arts. I was an actor and a screenwriter and a musician and those kinds of things.
I see. They're calling the illegal invasion special military operation the invasion of Ukraine.
And it has been my experience that artists do often, without realizing
Matrix on the bingo,
it, actually prophesy. They communicate truths to everybody else through their art. And as time goes on, the Matrix movie, especially the first one, has been more and more...
Not to be hard on them, but out of all the people we've covered, who's the most saddening to see? Cece's pretty hard because you can tell he's gotten a lot worse since we started watching him years ago. Peter's pretty sad because I've actually talked to him, and I really feel for the guy who was born and raised into a cult, basically had no chance. Like, you can just... That's the thing that fucks me up as existentially, chat, is that you can literally just, like, be born in the wrong place to the wrong parents, and your whole life is fucked. Your whole personality is fucked. You have no chance, you know? And Peter reminds me of that. And it makes me very sad. Reminds me of the limits of our own agency.
more prophetic about what we are experiencing. And I'm old enough. I've been around. I was born in 1963, so I lived a good chunk of my life, you know, about half of my life.
Peter talks to a cardboard puppet these days. I actually found a robot puppet in case he comes back with that, but it's like $60, you know? I can't spend $60 on a one-off robot puppet, as funny as that bit would be.
Through the 20th century, and I can tell you that there's a huge difference. And we're going to get into some of those things, but I'm going to get into some evidence that proves that the human race has stopped. It has stopped moving, learning, and evolving in the third dimension.
Okay, except it hasn't. Many things have been discovered, and many cultural shifts have happened in the last 26 years. Some for the better, many for the worse.
And what we are right now is we are living in a matrix placeholder. This isn't a real world. It's not even the third dimensional reality. It is a placeholder world. And the only reason that we are here is because we have to choose what the next world is going to be. So
we're not doing so great in the first 2 dimensions either. I'll have you know that the King of Lineland is doing a great job. Sassy P with a $99.99 super chat says, "Robot puppet." Thank you. I don't get paid for that till next month because of how the pay cycles on YouTube work. I will get the puppet at some point once I get paid from that.
I encourage you to make that conscious choice about what the next world
and thank you very much. That is a crazy super chat.
Is that you want to live in. Now, it's not enough just to make the choice. You have to take action. Action is the most important part of this. And this is where most people fail. In fact, everybody who fails at shifting, it may not be because they don't realize what's going on.
Hey, Ashley Moon, welcome. Thanks for the
and
follow.
they haven't decided
Can you see pictures of the robot puppet? Yeah, one sec. I'll find them.
what they want. The problem is that they are being prevented from taking actions upon that choice. So in this video, we're going to talk about ways that you can do that. So let's just go ahead and get into it. All right, so proof that we live in a matrix, the three.
It is this puppet. 25-inch full robot, full body ventriloquist style puppet. There it is. You can't see it all the way because, you know, but I can see it. It's a puppet. It's roughly the same size as the other puppet I have.
3D Earth ended in 1999. This isn't, I don't believe this is a direct quote. By the way, in case you don't know, The Matrix, when it was made, I was an actor in Hollywood and I played the Neo character for the casting. And what I would do is I would sit on one side of the table and the actors would come through and I would read the part of Neo. I had the script for the original Matrix and I didn't keep it because I didn't think it was going to turn into anything. It just seemed like some weird little science fiction thing.
Yeah, you should have kept it. If you could get that legitimately, like, proven to be a real thing by a memorabilia shop, you probably could have sold that for $500 or something.
Had I any idea, I would have kept that, and I don't know.
X to doubt. I mean, it's not the craziest lie. Like, when you are auditioning for, like, a movie role, they do have people there reading the other parts, not generally very enthusiastically, you know, because they're doing it all day, but they're just there to give the timing for the lines. So it's not impossible that that's true. It's just not really significant in any way, the way he talking about it.
Who knows what it would be worth now. So I find it interesting that I had that experience. Anyway, so I don't believe this is a direct quote from the movie, but it's absolutely true. The Matrix in the movie was redesigned to resemble Earth circa 1999 at the peak of human civilization. Now, at the time that they made that, that literally was the peak of human civilization because that was...
It really wasn't. It really wasn't, and people who say that are just of a specific age. Like, I really don't know how at this point are there still people that don't understand the difference between you liked things a while ago and things were objectively better a while ago and were the peak of all human history. That's not how things work.
Was their, you know, they were, that was their current world and reality. So, but I'm here to tell you that that is actually true. Now, not in the way that you might think, because it's not that we didn't create more technology. By the way, let's be clear, the technology that you have, all of the technology is level 0 in comparison to what the elites have. The elites have technology on the same level as extraterrestrials.
I believe sci-fi technology exists.
There's free energy machines out there. They have the ability to go faster than the speed of light. They have the ability to create, as you're now being programmed to finally believe for different reasons. That
Pretty sure the 90s were chosen because it's before the machines started being made lore-wise. That would be the Watsonian reason. The Doyleist explanation would be it's when the movie came out and they wanted it to reflect the modern world. That's it. That's as far as it goes. If The Matrix was made in the 1980s, they would have called the 80s the height of human civilization. If it was made in 2010, they would have said, you know, 2010 was the height of human civilization. It was just when the movie came out so that the fake reality reflected real reality at the time.
That human beings have created spaceships and have everything that you see in any science fiction, whether, and this is a quote from the people involved in these programs, that everything you see on Star Trek and Star Wars, we have and beyond. So
I want to get teleported.
The technology
Teleport me to the moon.
We have is virtually zero compared to that. But all of the technology that you use, the computer that you're using, the internet, your phone, your Apple Watch, whatever the hell it is, your car, certainly. I mean, your cars haven't the cars are the same as they were 100 years ago.
Do you know what a car 100 years ago looked like? Car, 1925. Ah, yes. A modern automobile! We fucking did it! Look, it's even got one of those, the horn is one of those ones that goes, Auga, Auga. It's got a fucking cartoon Auga horn. And you're telling me that this fucking thing that basically has golf cart tires is effectively the same as a modern automobile. Great. That's a justifiable statement for sure. He didn't pull that out of his butt. This is why I'm telling you guys, you gotta be careful with hallucinogenic drugs, psychedelic drugs, because this guy, his whole deal is he did drugs. He did way too much acid and mushrooms, and he fucked up his brain.
Really no difference. But, so technology has progressed. But even this level 0 technology that you have, which is so much more advanced than it was in 1999, has nothing to do with benefiting your life, even though you think it does. It is 100% created and given to you and sold to you for the sole purpose of being able to control and monitor you. It has
Okay, probably enough from this guy for now. Let's take a look at the bingo card, since I don't think we've looked today. We have... Oh, you're gonna have to help me out with this one. Uses AI... Vibes-based conspiracy, believe sci-fi tech actually exists. Dimensions beyond our own. Shilling scamming for some of those ads we happen to see. Hannah mentions Blu-rays. Hannah puts head in hands. Hannah might die of laughter. Atlantis. The Matrix. Reptilians. Predictive programming. And... We're all watching... Oh no, that was actually... I watched a thing before stream that said that. Alright, is that it? That's it? Did have some crisp, but it's not very good. We could probably skip it. We wouldn't miss anything, to be honest. Hey! It was National Panda Day! Guess who had opinions on that? That's right, it's Hans Wormhat, our resident panda truther. He also doesn't believe penguins exist. What else doesn't he believe exists? Koala bears. He thinks zebras are just horses with painted stripes. You know the deal.
You know how every day of the year is some, like...
When she talked about her job, was Bluebeam mentioned? I don't think so. She talked about the Montauk project, but I don't think Bluebeam.
National Pecan Pie.
Was MK Ultra mentioned? I don't recall, but they said a lot of random crap in the Super Soldier thing, so...
Pie Day. National Drink a Latte Day. Well, I guess today, March 16th, is National Panda Day, so it's a good time to talk about the panda and how it is a fake animal. And I'd say it's one of the more known to be fake animals, and you'll see people joke a lot of times about, pandas, it's like a drunk person in a suit. And
I don't hear people make that joke. He says that every time he brings up pandas, like that's a common joke. Maybe it is in some circles. I'm just not familiar with this particular panda stereotype.
Yeah, there's tons of people out there that they know that this world is fake, and you know what, and that all the world's a stage, and that you can't believe anything on TV, and don't believe anything you hear, and only half of what you see. Panda kind of falls within that. In my mind, I think of just this place. We live in a place that's occupied by tricksters and deceivers, and that this is a good example that we are in a broken world, and we are ruled over by deceivers and liars, and they have constructed the Matrix, if you want to call it that. They have just constructed a false reality full of bullshit.
What if I'd prefer to call it Dark City?
And if Masons
or Existence, because I am a cinema enjoyer.
Freemasons are good at one thing, it's bullshitting. Let's get into it. Fun facts about National Panda Day. Yeah, life it really should be more about building skills, trivia, facts. It's just something that somebody writes down in a book somewhere. And
he legitimately thinks that everything he reads is just someone just made it up. Like non-fiction books, he thinks people just make shit up. Crazy.
Another thing that I think about a lot is that there's a lot of these things. Is it snape hunting? Is that what it's called? The
snipe hunting.
Jackalope. Coming up with fantastical creatures is nothing new. The panda is just...
Hello, everything is a stage, and my real name is William Shakespeare.
That
I like that Shakespeare guy. He's going places.
They get away with...
To be or not to be, that is the question, whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or take up arms against a sea of troubles, and in something end them. Fuck.
With it. They get away with...
And by opposing end them, to die, to sleep. No more.
Actually convincing people that it's real, unlike the jackalope. But I'm sure you've known people in real life that get off on trying to convince people that things like jackalopes are real. So
I'm not gonna lie, chat, when I get bored at work, I just pull up that Hamlet, part, and I'm just trying to memorize it. So at work, when I'm not actually doing work, I just in my head do the Hamlet monologue and try and remember it, and when I get to a place that I can't remember, I look. Anyway, I'm trying to remember the whole Hamlet Overthought says, hey, we're all gonna get laid. Shakespeare, I think. Yeah, that sounds like him.
This is a thing. This isn't a total...
Hamlet, I wish I understood what was said. It's a monologue, soliloquy about suicide.
Totally new subject. Faking animals. It's actually kind of an inside joke thing that, middle school antics. What just makes this more interesting is that the whole world agrees about it. In the same way that the whole world agrees that people went to the moon, even though that's a bunch of BS. Well, thankfully, there are real humans, and there are people that think for themselves.
This idiot thinks there's real humans. What a sheeple, am I right? Real humans. Way to get taken in by big person.
And the illusion goes away when the truth has been presented. And I think pandas are a good introductory... Wait a minute, what's going on here? Is this real? Are all things as they appear? A group of pandas is called an embarrassment. When have you ever heard of such a strange name for a group of animals?
That happens all the time. A murder of crows, a cloister of... Oh, what is that? What's a cloister of? I know that's one. Yeah, tons of things have, like, weird group names. That's, like, a whole thing. Fennikagami says, we are ruled over by liars and deceivers. You're right, Hans. Those people are called capitalists. A parliament of owls, a fluffle of bunnies, a school of fish. Uh,
That one probably tops the list.
I have heard about the abridged Hamlet song, right? No?
And why is it embarrassing? I mean,
a crash of rhinos, a pod of whales,
very strange. That should get you thinking. That seems odd. That a lot of times with their antics, with their hoaxes, they don't take it seriously enough. If a panda was a real creature and there were biologists out there, like, what type of people have access to a panda? And
what type of people have access to a panda is the funniest thing to be suspicious about. People who work at zoos with pandas, people who are vets for those pandas, researchers who do research on pandas. What do you mean, Hans? An infestation of humans? Oof.
and are coming up with these things. Who gets to decide what a group of pandas is called?
Scientists, I guess. I don't know the exact process. Does it matter?
You would assume it'd be some sort of panda expert, and they decide that it's called, that we're going to call them an embarrassment. That's what's a group of apes called? Don't they call it a troupe, like an acting troupe?
A troop of gorillas. I'm not sure if it's the same for other apes.
Anyways, let's keep going on. There's apparently a subspecies, Keenling panda. It's just a different suit. These are just highly advanced mascot suits that people put on, and they convince people that it's real. China,
Flock of Seagulls. Oh, I love that band.
Is the...
And I ran so far away, I couldn't get away. Pa, 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 pa.
Leader of faking things. So it really is not that shocking that the symbol, the modern symbol of China, is something that's fake. The red
real.
panda, I've seen those. Those look real. Red pandas appear real.
Good to know. Red pandas are real, so good news for any red panda fans.
Real to me. They almost look like a fluffy raccoon or something. The scientific, anyways, poachers can sell panda pelts for as much as... When have you ever seen somebody with a panda pelt? Wouldn't they...
Hopefully never, because it would be incredibly illegal. Poaching exists, but normally those people, I think, keep that shit in their, like, study. I don't think they normally advertise, look at this expensive illegal thing I bought.
All be extinct by now if they really could make $100,000 on a single panda. There's been plenty of animals that have been hunted to extinction. Are you telling me that you can sell a panda skin for $100,000 and China hasn't just totally obliterated them?
Jesus Christ, and I thought I was cynical. Holy fuck. Yeah, that's why they protect it, because despite there being many people who are assholes who will do anything for money, there are also many people who don't want that and recognize that to be a bad thing, so they do their best to stop it.
That is unbelievable. Let's see how to celebrate. How can we celebrate National Panda Day? Should we inform people about pandas, or play a silly panda game, or what? Oh, get out your pocketbooks. Give to a panda conservation. That speaks for itself. Here's our Keenling panda, sticking out the tongue, of course.
Probably, Keenling?
Of course, which is a mocking symbol. Collie and her tongue. All mocking tongue. When is National Panda Day? Well, today, March 16th. What is National Panda Day? You wouldn't want to cuddle one. Oh no. Almost all of their fake animals have this built into it. Koala. I'm highly suspicious of koala. I don't know, maybe I'm open to the idea that it's kind of a rare thing that doesn't exist anymore in Australia, but I don't know. Australians are tricksters, and they got...
You hear that, Aussies? You tricky fucks.
Sent to Australia.
You acting like you're upside down all the time. It's incredibly sus. The Coriolis effect? Why are hurricanes like that down there? Stop it!
Australia because they were the bad ones, so I don't trust the koala at all. There are so many koalas out there that are...
Harold Elbelman says, seriously, did I finally do it? Shilling scammy, reptilians, free space, Hannah might die of laughter, incorrectly believes evidence is self-evident. Hold on. Where's my kazoo? I need to do a congratulatory for Harold Elbelman. Where's my kazoo? Harold Elbelman finally won bingo and there's no kazoo? This is bullshit. I guess pretend this pipe is a kazoo. Hell yeah. Good job, Harold Elbelman. I will write your name down as the official bingo winner for the day. So that is our winner. We will still play for fun.
100% obviously plushies, and there are so many gaslighting attempts of people to try to convince you that obvious plushies and animatronics are not that, or just CGI, just straight up CGI koala all over the place.
Orion Cooper, with 18 months of membership on YouTube, re-ups their membership and says, tell Harold Elbelman happy birthday and congrats. Well, congrats, Harold Elbelman. Also, is it your birthday today? Did I miss that? Happy birthday. Unless someone just thought that, which would also be funny. Let me write your name down. Harold Elbelman. Cool beans.
But same thing with the koala, right? A cute and cuddly thing that looks like a plushie, but they'll tell you, oh no, don't touch them.
Densetsu says, have you seen the footage of koala that survived burning in bushfires, you twat? He has, and he made fun of it. He said it at the beginning. Well, oh yeah, you did. Sorry, I've been busy streaming, so my brain forgot. Happy birthday again. What a good day to get a bingo.
Drop bears, right? So apparently less than 2,000 pandas live in the wild.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys know this, but for all 3 hours that I am streaming every single day, I am filled with an anxiety that is palpable. So I'm just in panic mode constantly for 3 hours, and I forget things as soon as I say them, so I apologize. You'd think after over a decade I'd be more comfortable talking in front of an audience, huh? But alas!
Of course they're rare because they don't actually exist. And you really can get in. I've made a lot of videos on this, and I'm sure people in the comments will talk about all the things about pandas that don't make sense. And anyway, I'll just keep going. Yeah, let me know in the comment if you've always thought.
Thanks, Hans. We can move on. I just wanted to talk about that once again. Does not believe pandas are real. Alted Undying with 40 bits says, hey, Hannah just woke up. Hope you got the meme I saw of Holmes and Alien Watson. I did. It was cute. Funny. How about something about the Hollow Earth?
Hi guys. Welcome to Channeling Eric. My name is Nicole Schwartz, and this is Ginger Bailey. And we are mediums for Channeling Eric, and we're trying something a little different, and it's actually cool to be on the other side. Of
No Hannah Reloaded live show anytime soon. That would be easier. It's way easier with an actual person there or people there because you can get feedback immediately. When it's just a chat, I want you to understand. You understand how uncomfortable it is? And I'm not saying, like, it's fine. It's my job. It's fun. But, like, I want you to know when you're first starting out, if you ever want to do a stream, there was nothing more painful. This is hyperbole. There's nothing more painful than telling jokes in a room alone and having to just basically be like, yep, okay, it's silent in here and I'm telling jokes, but there's people hearing me, and some of them are entertained. You just gotta get used to the cringe of telling jokes alone in a room. Doesn't feel good. I very much, I don't know if you guys remember the Bo Burnham song from Inside, the trying to be funny when stuck in a room. I don't know. I vibe with that song.
It's because Ginger was actually my mentor, so it's like I'm kind of giving her the questions. So it'll be very, very cool. And our links and our information will be at the bottom. So just check out for that. All right. So our topic of the today is Agartha, the Hollow Earth.
Yep.
Eric, Eric's ready. He's like, I got this, guys. I got this.
Yeah, I got him. I got him here.
Wait, is that one lady there? So she's not even there for this, but they're still talking to her dead son? If I ever die, don't turn the idea of me into a prop, please.
saying hi, everyone. Hi. And he's laughing. Now he's laughing at us. So
I'm trying to laugh with you, okay?
Right.
Okay, so
Make
it
my
says,
eyes water. Go ahead. Sorry.
Stop it, Eric. Agartha is a legendary kingdom that is said to be located in the inner surface of the earth. It sometimes.
What if you made a puppet of me? Then I would probably die tragically and my soul would become transferred to the puppet, wherein I would have to do 100 good deeds, or I can never pass on to the afterlife. That's also my spec script, so if anyone wants to produce it, give me a call.
Is related to the belief in the hollow earth, and it is a popular subject in esotericism, occultism, and the New Age. Have you heard a lot about this topic before?
No, I've heard stories in the past. I've heard stories, not much though.
Right, same here.
I know, I never really thought about it. I never really thought about it.
Either.
Yeah.
Paradona, I will have you know that my show is legally distinct from the 100 Good Deeds of Eddie McDowell. It's McDowd, actually. I'm pretty sure it's Eddie McDowd. Which I've never seen. It's parallel thought. I've definitely didn't steal the idea from a defunct Nickelodeon comedy about a dog.
Okay, so are you ready? You want to start off with questions?
Have
Okay.
I seen Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio? Might have beat you to that script. No, I haven't. Damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Go.
So, is it really a legend, or do you want me to say both, or do you want me to split them apart? I don't know how. What's easiest for you?
Just whatever the question is. Like, is it
Okay.
one whole question? Yeah.
Is it really a legend, or the Hollow Earth trill exists?
This would be a short stream if it was a legend. Wouldn't it be funny if they were like, yep, it's a legend, end of stream. Thanks for showing up, everyone. We did it. Sorry, next time we'll pre-channel to make sure the entire stream isn't bullshit. Did the dog ever succeed before the show ended? Nope. Guessing he got put down off screen.
Okay, so something Eric's saying here is he's showing me that it's both. Okay. Now, when he says
What do you mean it's both? It can't be both. It literally can't.
There are stories, there are myths, there are things that have been told about this that are fictional. I see what he's saying here. But there is actually places within the earth that are it's more like a 5-dimensional space, not 3-dimensional, he's saying. So it's not like we could go there physically and touch it.
Right.
And now as soon as I say that, he goes, this is gonna like really affect probably some of the questions throughout it, but there are some other things that he's showing me that's pretty interesting about other planets that have things like this that are actually 3D, but not here on
other planets also are hollow?
Our planet or in our planet.
A lot of dimensional people today. Yeah, there are. I guess I didn't notice. Accidental theme.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which actually brings to the next question. Are they 3D or a 5D race of beings? Are they on a higher frequency than 5D?
So there's many different ones. It's not just one civilization. He's showing me alien beings, interdimensional beings, which I still try to figure out what the difference of that is, because I figure if they're not from here, it's alien, it's ET. So but
usually when people say alien in that way, they're describing extraterrestrials from another planet. Something from another dimension would be an interdimensional being. Again, either of those exist to our knowledge, so it's not really important to know that distinction, but I don't think it's complicated either.
But he also shows me like spiritual beings too, because it is 5D, which is the same as a spiritual plane. So, let's see here. Yeah, so he's showing me that there's different beings, but there are ones that can go into the 5-dimensional place, you know, in that space.
From 3D.
Right, right. He says that there will be a time that we will be there, that we will be
He's
in that
clearly lying. The terrible AI leprechaun told us there were 13 dimensions. I'll never distrust a leprechaun.
place, that not in the center of the earth, but that we can go there.
Why do they skip 4? Because 4 is usually colloquially known as time. The 4th dimension is referred to as time in many very famous works of fiction. H.G. Wells' The Time Machine introduces this concept. It was in Back to the Future. So usually they skip 4 because when people hear 4th dimension, they think time, when in reality, when we're talking about spatial dimensions, there is, mathematically, a 4th, 5th, 6th, and higher spatial dimensions that aren't time, but again, we're talking about people whose primary view of the world comes from media, so that's why they skip 4th dimension.
With our bodies, where our bodies will be to a point where we will...
Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse 5, I haven't read that. So I'm familiar, but I've not read it. But yeah, I guess they must use it there, if you're saying.
Be more 5D than 3D. Which, you know, in a way...
So they're trying to cohere to convention, but then just spout nonsense? Yes.
Is something that's not tangible. It's not tangible. It's not, you still feel touch and everything, but it's not tangible in the way that 3-dimensional is, and it doesn't have the up, the down, the side to side, the dimensions of the 3-dimension, you know, it has more. He says it has that and more. So when you go to one dimension to another, there's different things that are added to each dimension. So they're like layers he's showing. So, yeah.
He said, what he just showed me is it, do you mind if I?
Yeah, go ahead.
He just showed me like an elevator, like going up, like that, like
oh, yeah.
Like going up to each level, and I'm like, why an elevator? But that's kind of like what you said. It's like, I don't know. He tries to.
I'm sorry. Do you want to walk from the center of the earth? Okay, enough of that. I have to use the bathroom real quick, so don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll talk about how this guy thinks people want to fuck robots. I say that, I know my audience, statistically, some of you probably want to fuck robots, which is fine, but he thinks it's evil, so we'll talk about that. While I'm gone, Cher will tell you about... Genesis 2 and Planet Earth. It's a double feature. Wow. Wow. I'll be right back. Since we are about halfway done with the stream, don't forget, if you like what you see, consider following or subscribing if you're on YouTube. And if you want to help support the stream, you can always gift subs, memberships, or bits. Be right back. Oh god, I'm stuck in the chair.
Another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, this is your host, Truth Seeker here. And it's quite apparent what is going on. You have Kim Kardashian being used as one of these celebrities to push this idea of man with machine, man being in a relationship with machine.
I just realized we're actually going to have a robosexuality scare, aren't we? If humanoid robots become a thing, and I'm not talking about them being self-aware, I don't think we're anywhere in the realm of creating robots that are actually, like, self-aware. But, you know, they're machines that are in the shape of a person. People are going to fuck these things because human beings are disgusting, horny pigs, and all we do is fuck each other and fuck stuff and fuck things we shouldn't fuck and fuck all over the planet, you know? So, like, there are gonna be people who want to fuck robots. And there's gonna be so many people who don't want people to fuck robots. So let me be clear. You're developing an emotional connection to an object. That's a problem. If you just want to fuck a robot, I don't give a shit. Fuck a robot. Who cares? I really don't have the mental bandwidth for evangelical Christians yelling at people for coming inside a robot. I just don't. I do not have it in me to fight Christians who are mad that people are fucking and getting fucked by robots. I do not want to live in this future. I just don't have it.
And this is all to do with man merging with machine eventually. This is all to do with the AI takeover that we are currently seeing, happen right before our very eyes. This is what we are seeing. This is what's happening. Every day, it seems as if more and more things are happening to lead to this AI takeover. And this has been a slow process. This has been a step-by-step process with the AI takeover, because first it was just, computers and stuff like that. And obviously, AI is computers, but that's how it's.
We got a regular tech genius here. AI is computers, as we all know, with the cyber and such.
Started smartphones, and the list goes on. Now it's going to be where robots are literally everywhere. It's something straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's something like Terminator on steroids. That's pretty much the best way that I can describe it.
Have you seen Terminator? Because in Terminator, Skynet had basically wiped out virtually all of humanity. So to call this some music video or something with a Kardashian and a fucking Tesla robot, I don't know, to call that more than Skynet kind of implies to me that you haven't seen the movie, or any of the movies.
Or other movies like that. Or it's something like I, Robot, the movie with Will Smith, with all of the robots everywhere.
Have you guys seen the movie I, Robot? This is just like that movie I, Robot that they used to play on FX all the time.
Something along those lines. It's also very interesting how they are trying to make Elon into this person that needs sympathy with how his,
To be clear, Elon is doing that, and other right-wingers are doing that. There isn't like a they in the sense you're talking about. His personal interests and the personal interests of those around him that are served by him having some sort of public image that's positive. That's they're upset, but there is no all-encompassing they.
Company is under fire, how he is dealing with these protests, and the list goes on and on and on. And there was even an article way back in 2016 that talked about how women would, more with robots, have more of this with robots in 2025. And now we are seeing this stuff happen because What
Except we're really not. You're literally reading the article from The Sun, which is a fucking tabloid.
this all boils down to
2016 is not way back. It's 9 years ago. It's almost a decade.
is that they want to take away the human interaction completely. They want man to depend on these robots. They want robots to take over everything. And that's what we are seeing happen. And it's why they are using people like Kim Kardashian, who is a witch, to promote.
You guys see that video where Ray J fucked a witch? That's crazy. Green guy with a $3 tip says, Hannah, when you read, do you see the words in your head or is there just nothing? I don't see the words, I hear the words.
Promote this ideology, this idea of man and robot, woman and robot. You get the idea.
Again, I don't care. It's basically just a complicated sex toy. Human beings have been finding things to fuck and be fucked with since the beginning of time. Like, people were smoothing meticulously, like, rocks turn into dildos in prehistory. We're gonna be having sci-fi fuckbots. I don't know how to tell you. I'm not saying everyone's gonna. I'm not saying it's for you. I don't think it's for me. But, like, if you don't think there are people who want to fuck robots, I don't know what to tell you. People are gonna fuck robots. Who cares?
And it's going to become more and more normal from these celebrities. They are going to continue to push this idea of robots everywhere because what they are trying to do is they are using these people as a way to mind control the masses into accepting this as the new normal, the new reality. So this is why they are using people like Kim Kardashian. This is why Elon Musk is pushing all of this idea of AI taking over because so many people...
I mean, he's doing that because he's basically tried to give the image that he's like a sci-fi guy and he knows all sorts of stuff that he doesn't know.
People
trying to get into the motives of Elon as if he's brilliant and trying to dissect them is gonna fall apart because he's not. He flails a lot because he's dumb, because he doesn't know what he's doing and ultimately thinks much higher of himself than is reasonable, so he makes bad decisions because he thinks he's an expert in everything, and he's not.
Are worshiping Donald Trump, the MAGA crowd. So this is why you see stuff like this happen, because they think Trump is here to save the day.
Happy birthday, Darth Gently.
They do. They think Trump is here to save the day. So this is why you see all of this stuff.
Have I seen the video of the guy testing Tesla's auto drive versus other cars with LiDAR tests to auto drive? I have. Yeah. Teslas are scary. Don't buy a Tesla, please. There's so many options now for electric vehicles. Like, I haven't had a car in over a year, and it's been a nightmare. It really sucks having to share a car between two people, and we both have jobs at different places. Pain. If I get a car again, which I hope to eventually, I want to get an electric car. Never in a million years will I buy a fucking Tesla. There's so many options now.
That you do, because Elon Musk is buddies with Donald Trump. And look, Elon replying to the post on X about this photo shoot that she did with this robot. I mean, come on. It is right in your face.
It's an ad! It's an ad! Does he not get it? They're not hiding it. It's an ad! It's a fucking ad!
And so many people are blinded by this.
It would be like when Ralphie does the, like, decoder ring thing if he was like, drink your Ovaltine. This is a conspiracy to get children to drink more Ovaltine. Like, what are you talking about? It's an ad! It's not a secret. It's an ad! Oh.
There's a lot of people in the MAGA crowd that are supporting Kim Kardashian now. So do you see how all of this stuff works? The idol worship knows no bounds. Anybody that links up with Trump that is a sketchy character, this MAGA crowd will
So
support
everyone who links up with Trump?
for the most part. And it's scary to a point. It really is, because
We can get an accidentally based on the bingo card for that.
now you have the quote-unquote conservatives.
That sounds like something someone in the pocket of Big Ovaltine would say. Nah, I'm a Hershey's syrup gal for life. I don't like Ovaltine. I like Hershey's chocolate syrup.
Right. Supporting somebody like Kim Kardashian, who is a witch. A witch. And
Nah,
it's just more truth in plain sight that
popular woman is popular and many people find her attractive. She must be a witch. They say the same crap about Taylor Swift.
you are seeing something like this go down, something like this happen, because this is what they want. This is their future, and it is hell. This is what this is, hell. This is a nightmare, a nightmarish future. This is the future that they have envisioned for each and every one of us, and I really believe that it ties into the 15-minute cities, or as Donald Trump refers to them, freedom cities. It's all one and the same at the end of the day. This is why you see Donald Trump pushing the Tesla stuff now. You know, after he criticized electric vehicles in the past.
Literally just because he's a cynical grifter and Elon helped buy him the election. Like, that's it. It's not that complicated. It's honestly the closest that I think I've ever seen conspiracy theorists actually come to describing a conspiracy, but like not really. He just, you know, used his money to help buy a social media platform and shape public opinion, and Trump owes him for that. Pretty simple.
And again,
Fucked
this
up, cynical, disgusting. Pretty simple.
is just some examples of the MAGA crowd, people in the MAGA movement, or just Trump supporters or what have you, loving this idea of Kim Kardashian posing with the Tesla stuff. Look at this. Come on, Kim K. Getting in on the Tesla train. How much did they pay you? I don't know if that person was actually in support of Trump or not right there. But this person right here, Kim, telling us she voted for Trump. And there are people, though, that are praising this. This might be some bad examples of this, but there are some people that are praising this. Case in point, Elon himself.
I find it interesting that he read the first message. Come on, Kim K. Getting in on the Tesla train. How much did they pay? To me, that feels like that's definitely not in favor, but I don't know.
But these are just examples of what is going on and what is happening, because right here, they are trying to make Elon Musk appear as this person that you need to have sympathy for. Because right here, Kim Kardashian smeared as a, I'll just say Yahtzee, and obviously you all are smart enough to know what that word is, after posing with Tesla robot Cybertruck. I mean, come on. And then they say right there they use 3Ks for Kardashian. So again, this is just more examples of them trying to make these people appear as these sympathetic people. They are trying to make these people appear as the heroes. Never in my wildest dream would I imagine people that are quote-unquote conservatives loving this idea of Kim Kardashian. I mean, come on. Just because she took pictures with Tesla stuff. Just because she posed with a Tesla robot. Just because she's apparently in a relationship with a Tesla robot. Sorry, Kanye. I mean, Kanye himself.
Haven't been together in a while, and like, Kanye is a self-described Nazi. He literally walks around in a swastika shirt and has said that he likes Hitler. So I don't know what to say about that.
He's a robot, but that's another story for another time. If that's even the real Kanye. But all of this stuff is done by design. They use these celebrities for a purpose. And their
Rainey says, you see, I'm a bit torn about this guy. He's opposed to the likes of Trump and Musk, and these, to my mind, are good things. But his reasons are uncomfortably close to why a lot of people support Trump and Musk, and that kind of bothers me. Like someone seeing a nice juicy hamburger, or rather serving a nice juicy hamburger because he believes veganism is a communist conspiracy and cows all work for the reptilians. Yeah, there's a lot of conspiracy theorists that are just against power in general, no matter who is in power. So, stopped clock, occasionally they will dislike people who are shitty, but like, usually for the wrong reasons, or just very strange reasons. It's just they don't trust anyone in any kind of power, to some extent.
purpose is to push these agendas as cool, as hip, as normal. This is what the goal is. This is why Trump is pushing this Tesla stuff with Elon. This is why all of this stuff is happening, because these people are all part of the same club. And this electric vehicle stuff is more propaganda. It's all a dream of the World Economic Forum to have everybody driving around in these EVs, these electric vehicles. Because why is that?
Because they're better for the environment, because they don't constantly emit stuff that gets in the atmosphere and contributes to like the greenhouse gas problem.
They could shut the power off at any time, and then how are you going to get around? How
are you under the impression that the government couldn't stop deliveries of gas to gas stations if they wanted to? Like, what?
Are you going to charge your fancy electric vehicle? Oh, that's right.
I don't even think they would need to do that much. They wouldn't necessarily need to physically block it off. They could do things if they really wanted to just fuck people over. Like if it was a really evil totalitarian government that really wanted to inhibit people's ability to go around. They'd do monetary policy that would probably jack up the price of gasoline to make it prohibitive to do things. Just how, if I was evil, that's how I would do it. Easier than directly forcing people not to do something is just making it so prohibitively expensive that people can't have it reasonably.
Not be able to. This is why you've seen in the movie Leave the World Behind all of these Teslas. They could even hack these Teslas because the fact that they are more computerized than ever before. I mean, heck, even the regular cars that run on gasoline, these newer models are pretty much computers. So they could hack those and say, hey, let's drive it off the road somewhere. You know, that's just an example. So this is why you are seeing stuff like this happen. Because this is all part of their plan. They want people to own nothing and be happy. That's where all of this is actually leading to. Because what they eventually want, they don't even want people driving. They want people to be in autonomous vehicles. First, it's going to be these electric vehicles that people are driving around in. Then it's going to move to the next phase of autonomous vehicles, where the vehicle drives you where they feel that you should go and back. This is all part of their plan. And look at this right here. Musk gets support from unexpected quarters on Tesla. Kim Kardashian. So do you see, are you putting the puzzle pieces together? Those of you out there that may be skeptical. Because it's right there for everybody to see. First, you had Trump come out pushing this idea of the Tesla stuff. Now you have Kim Kardashian doing it more. She's been doing it with this robot. I don't mean it. I mean, she probably might be. I don't really know. That's none of my concern. But Kim Kardashian has already posed in the past with this Tesla robot, and now she's doing it again. And there's a reason for that. It's conditioning. It's mind control. They are doing everything in their power to mind control the masses. They are doing everything in their power to make this stuff seem cool. They want more people on board with this. Now, obviously, not everyone's going to be on board with this. I'm not on board with it, and I never will be.
Yeah, doesn't understand their problem is capitalism on the bingo card.
But they want as many people as possible to be on board with this, because even right here, Elon Musk predicts that the 20K Tesla bots will be in every home as Kim Kardashian shows off robot on Instagram.
As far as you're aware, Tesla robots went nowhere, right? They did an event probably 3 or 4 months ago now, maybe longer than that, where they were doing some misleading stuff. So they had the robots like serving drinks and stuff, but they weren't actually autonomous. Basically what they were doing was in a different room somewhere, they had actual people wearing like suits that track their motion, and they're wearing like VR goggles, and so the robots were being controlled one-to-one by real people, but they made it seem like the robots were behaving autonomously, but they were not. They were all being directly controlled by humans. So basically they have like the physical animatronics that they can move around, but they don't have the programming to make them actually do things. And at that point, just hire a housekeeper. You know what I mean?
And there was a point in time when Elon Musk...
Oh god, I can imagine it now. You get your Tesla bot, and then remotely somewhere in like India or something, there's like a call center, but instead of calls, it's all people remotely operating cleaning robots for like rich assholes. Like, oh, it's 9 a.m. It's time for someone to log into your house cleaning robot and clean your house remotely from across the world, and you can pay them basically impoverished wages because they're not actually in the United States. Anyway, sorry, I'm giving ideas to terrible, terrible people.
Talked about how artificial intelligence was summoning the demon.
We should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that.
The twist was the biggest existential threat was actually Elon Musk. Funny how that works.
So we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence. I'm increasingly inclined to think that there should be some regulatory oversight maybe at the national and international level, just to make sure that we don't do something very foolish.
Amber says, and I'm going to have a rebuttal to this, but Amber says, I feel the need to point out that electric cars are kind of a scam. Obviously, they're preferable to combustion engines. However, the inherent inefficiencies of individualized transit cannot be overcome through electrification. Electric trams within cities combined with walkable infrastructure and high-speed rail is what would actually make a difference where the hospitality of our cities and climate change are concerned. I would agree, but America is very built out in terms of its infrastructure for vehicles. So even if you long-term intend to switch over to more public means of transit, there would still have to be a transitory period where people are still using cars, because changing the entire structure of most American cities is a project that would take decades and decades, most likely. But I understand what you're saying. I'm thinking electric vehicles in more like a short to medium term, whereas long-term goals would be building out stuff like you were describing, or y'all are describing.
I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon.
Harold Ebbleman says, I don't think you said, but how do you handle it when you have that mindfuck feeling you were talking about with Peter and his upbringing? I early voted today against a constitutional amendment that could add to the list of things that put mostly black 14-year-olds in our former plantation state prison with life sentences. We only recently made it so you needed 12 and not 9 jurors to vote guilty for things like that, so I'm trying not to imagine the lives in hearses now. Any advice? No, if you come up with anything for me, let me know. I'm in existential crisis at every moment of my life, and it's truly unbearable, and the weight of it gets heavier every single day. Thanks for asking.
You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, he's sure he can control the demon. Doesn't work out.
That was then, this is now, and this is all done by design. What they do is they tell you truth, and then they push a bunch of lies in between, and that is the definition of controlled opposition. and Elon Musk is part of the false light. Elon Musk is controlled opposition, just like Trump is controlled opposition, just like Alex
Controlled opposition on the bingo card.
Jones, and the list goes on. Tucker Carlson. All of these people are part of the false light. Same with Biden, Obama. The list goes on. All of these people are pushing the same agendas. They are part of the same team.
They're not. They're not, though.
They can say all that they want. Yeah, we are team humanity or whatever else. But no, what they all are part of is they are all serving Team Lucifer. And that's what this all boils down to at the end of the day. These people are all pushing the same agenda, just in a different way. So there is a reason why Kim Kardashian...
Lisa Lamb, thanks for 2 months, and Trey says, fun fact, Elon is into real long-termism.
is being used to push this idea.
Is his thesis basically, yeah, sure, we need to make generations of people suffer, but I think it'll be good in the long term, in my personal opinion, so I'm just going to make that happen.
Of these robots taking over. To push this idea of being in a relationship with robots, because they want to take away any and all humanity as possible. And they want to replace it with AI, robots. They want people to be hooked up to these virtual reality headsets too. They don't even want people to leave their home. They don't. I thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Truth Zone. As always, please like the video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are...
This one's titled AI Made from Human Blood.
And I'm still putting my truck back together. It didn't break down. I ran into an issue, and I've been working on it for almost 2 weeks. But she's just about ready to go again, hopefully. I broke some stuff really bad. It was an accident. That's all it was. It wasn't even four-wheeling or anything. It was it just sucked. That's all. It just really sucked. So I'm staying in my buddy's shop, as you can see right here. And I need to make a video because mixing iron with clay is something that we see in the Bible. Am I wrong? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. That makes sense, right? It makes sense. If you ever built anything, you understand that you can't get clay and iron to join each other. You can stick clay on iron, and it'll stick until somebody hits it with a hammer or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Well, we've already got Stargate. We've already got AI. We've already got robots. We've already got D-Wave. We've already got all sorts of crazy computers going on. And then this shows up. This...
Stone Corbell says, have you ever think about how fixating on a single book for 2,000 years has driven our civilization insane? I'm basically at the point where I feel that conspiratorial type thinking is the norm for human beings. And the fact that any significant portion of the population wasn't that for any significant period of time is pretty impressive. And it feels like we're just devolving back to the mean. And I kind of hate that. I'm kind of afraid that intelligence is not a viable survival strategy long term, and that might be the great filter. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? You're getting so up your own ass that you sound like a pretentious, insane person. Because I am. And that's frustrating in and of itself. Like, you get so up your own ass about this stuff. It just makes you feel like shit. My opinion of people has gotten so much worse over the last decade. And the worst part is I'm not a big enough narcissist to separate myself from that. Like, I feel like there are some people who are misanthropic and they're like, ah, but not me. No! But me, though, bitch! Everything I see in other people as negative qualities, I also see in myself. And it's just a nightmare being a part of this godforsaken fucking species. Anyway.
is literally the definition of iron mixed with clay. A computer that's run off of blood cells and skin cells of humans turned into stem cells, and it powers the computer. I never heard of such a thing till about 3 days ago. This is insane, and it's available.
This is the world's first commercial biological computer, running on living human cells. The CL1 computer is the brainchild of Melbourne-based Cortical Labs.
This is where the neurons would be embedded in.
CEO and founder Hanwang Chong says it fuses cell-derived neurons with silicon, creating a new class of AI known as synthetic biological intelligence.
Unlike using artificial neural networks, we grow real biological neurons into networks onto computer chips.
Is there a particular benefit to that? Like, that's interesting in theory. What's the purpose? I assume they'll go into it.
It sounds like science fiction, but Han says the CL1 is capable of learning and adapting faster than standard silicon-based AI, while consuming significantly less energy.
Minty Treasure says they're mouse neurons, if I remember correctly. Probably something like that. Mouse models are one of the most common.
We take blood or skin and we can transform them into stem cells, and from stem cells into brain cells or neurons that we then use them for compute and intelligence.
Han says the neurons grow on silicon chip with tiny electrical contacts connecting them to the digital hardware. And it's equipped with an artificial life support system to keep the cells healthy.
Oh! Baja has that little mini microscope. You can buy that on Amazon. Stone Corbell says, why do I feel like using human cells in this computer is just a publicity stunt or thought experiment, or some kind of conspiracy theorists are going to take it as, oh my god, the computers of human souls!
We have pumps like the heart, waste feeding reservoirs, filtration units like the kidneys, and we have a gas mixer to take carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen.
Han says the CL1 could revolutionize drug testing and personalized medicine.
With this kind of technology, we potentially...
Theranos said that too, to be fair. Lisa Lamb with 500 bits says, I don't know that you can take a skin cell and turn it into an... Or I didn't know that you can take a skin cell and turn it into a neuron. You'd have to ask my lovely doctor wife about that.
It could grow neurons taken from patients with, say, a dementia or with epilepsy, and test compounds and drugs.
I need to buy a new computer. My old one has dementia.
That would then be personalized and tailored to that patient.
It keeps randomly dumping its RAM.
But Han believes the CL1's potential doesn't end there, saying it could usher in a new age of AI.
In the short term is we can use it for life sciences, for personalized medicine, for drug discovery and development. But the longer term vision of the company here is to pioneer a new form of computing where we can actually use these neurons that can process information with much quicker speed, with much less data, and with much more energy efficiency, so that we can get to intelligence, but without the significant costs associated with it.
CL1 computers are destined for laboratories and research facilities capable of cultivating their own cells. They'll be manufactured to order and ready to ship later this year.
Okay, when I die, turn my brain into a computer and just make it run Oblivion all day. Thank you.
Okay, I followed D-Wave, I followed AI, I followed quantum computing, I followed...
By follows, he means he watches other conspiracy theorists that occasionally talk about them.
Every type of computing, and I've never once heard of that company till about a week ago. They just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they're a startup. Have you heard of startups?
Nowhere. Do you understand what this is? This is literally cleaving iron to clay. And they use blood and human skin. And this thing, did you hear what he said? This thing has a support system. The computer actually has kidneys and a waste. It creates waste. It poops. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Like, what are we doing here? This is entirely insane and exactly like everything else. What's the excuse? Well, first of all, it's $35,000, but they're available. That's insane to me. Never heard of them, but here we go. Second of all...
But imagine anyone they'd be selling them to would be using them for research purposes of their own. I don't think they're claiming it has a particularly practical purpose right now. Neither did computers back in, like, the 70s, but people would just tinker in their garages with them until they found stuff to do with them. Might not even be that. Maybe it's just a startup that's not going to go anywhere and there's no practical purpose for it. Who knows? The point is, though, it's not evil. It's not evil, and I promise this computer has not stolen anyone's soul.
It's the exact same thing that Elon Musk says. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing. It'll help people that can't walk. People that they don't care about people that can't walk. Half the people that have any type of a malady that messes with their...
I think Elon Musk cares about money that he can get from insurance companies for people that can't walk.
Speech, their vision, their hearing, their ability to walk, talk, move, or anything are usually people that have been hit with vaccines. Do you see what I'm saying? Vaccines cause half of the medical issues on Earth.
They don't. That statistic was pulled directly from his anus.
And they're not going to cure them ever, but it's all they ever talk about. All they ever talk about. So I find this insane. Real quick, listen to this. Get your money out of the bank.
Immediately flips a switch and goes into shilling gold mode for your fucking audience. Listen up, rubes! Buy shiny metal. Buy shiny metal. Buy from me at my affiliate link. Great.
It's all I can possibly tell you. They're going to take your 401ks. They're going to take your IRAs, turn it into gold and silver, and have it sent to your house. These
Elon's about to take your Social Security.
Will match you up to 10%.
Him and a bunch of 20-year-old douchebags.
Whatever amount you put in, they'll give you 10% free silver, and they've already done it to at least 300, 400, 500 people that I can attest for. That's not a great number. About 250, let's call it that. Get your money out of the bank because Trump is turning everything over to digital currency. I explained that in the last video and I showed it to you everywhere. Any real economy channels, truth channels, channels that are awake, channels that know what the NWO is, are all freaking out because you got these guys doing
New World Order on the bingo card,
doing these hedge funds and short selling and all this other stuff. It's always something they do before a massive event. They got to take out the banks. They have to get everybody on the social credit system. And in order to do that, they got to do...
Notice that the short selling from the meme stock stuff has found its way into other conspiracy circles.
Their great reset. And they're going to. Now, back to this.
Did I accidentally predict some sort of conspiracy singularity by covering all these groups as they've now are converging into one single new... I'm so tired. I'm so tired of living in a world of nonsense. It's rough.
Just built a computer.
This guy sounds like Ape Father. Yeah, he's lost a lot of money, and he's admitted it at this point, but I also don't want to cover it because he had a personal tragedy lately, so what are you gonna do?
Powered by living human brain cells, and it learns faster than any AI chip out there. It doesn't.
Military gadgets are transforming people's conditions and endurance, and here's how. This is what...
See what I mean about BitChute having more tactical stuff? Like, this'll help you breathe oxygen so you can be a badass.
What happens when you breathe in more oxygen, and this military gadget makes it possible.
It's from the military.
Lung mucus away instantly.
Doesn't even need a traditional computer to run. This isn't sci-fi, it's real, it's on the market, and the craziest part, you can actually buy one. Let's talk about it. All right, now I know biological computer sounds pretty wild. We're talking about a computer made partly out of living human brain cells, actual living neurons, plus silicon hardware, working together to form what they're calling synthetic biological intelligence. This new form of AI, or SBI for short, is not just some sci-fi concept. It's real, and it's been officially launched. Vertical Labs revealed the CL1 at an event in Barcelona on March 2nd, 2025, and they say it's going to revolutionize everything from drug discovery to disease modeling to how we might build future robotics and automation systems. So how does it work exactly? The idea is that these
horrifying AI face man!
Neurons, which are grown in the lab from induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSCs, can be placed on something like a silicon chip that has electrodes laid out in a grid. In the CL1 setup, there are 59 electrodes, forming a sort of playground for these neurons to grow and form connections. Cortical Labs calls it a body in a box. It has its own life support system so the cells can thrive, filtration, pumps, temperature control, gas mixing, basically an entire environment to keep the neurons healthy. This is
just Ziggy from Quantum Leap. Yeah, kinda.
Connected to software that reads and writes signals to the neurons in real time. Because these brain cells thrive on predictable signals, they're basically searching for energy-efficient ways to respond, the system can reward them for doing something right and punish them for doing something wrong. Cortical's earlier research published in the journal Neuron showed that with the right stimulus, these cultured neurons learned how to play the classic arcade game Pong. The researchers would send electrical signals to tell the cells where the paddle was, and the cells would respond. If the virtual ball was missed, a random chaotic signal was sent back which the cells didn't like. If they hit the ball, the signal—
Yes, enslave the cells for Pong. Good. Good.
was more predictable, so over time, the neurons got better at Pong.
So you see what I'm saying?
The development of the Torment Nexus is coming fruitfully.
This is utterly, totally, completely insane. This is insanity.
It's not that crazy. It's interesting. It's very interesting, but like, it's not bad. It's fine.
We've gone from
they're literal cells. They're not alive. I mean, they're living in the sense that they're like cells, but they're not conscious. It's fine.
AI robots to now AI that's got—
in the book, Ziggy was made from Sam Beckett's brain cells. That makes sense.
A digestive system. It's learning, and it's made of blood, human blood. Who do you think's blood that might be? Well, let's go over here to
immediately going to, oh, they stole children's blood. You know you can buy blood, right? You can buy blood. You can buy blood. What are you talking about?
Website called Child Watch of North America. And an estimated 800,000 children are reported missing each year.
Again, I've talked about this every time the QAnon people bring this up. The vast majority of missing children, the vast majority, are stolen, or kidnapped rather, by a family member, usually a non-custodial parent. So they'll bandy this like, oh, almost 1 million children go missing a year. The vast majority of those number is a kid got kidnapped by like their dad or mom that didn't get custody in a divorce, and they take them. Children do disappear, and that's awful, and everything should be done in our power to stop the reasons that happens. But constantly, conspiracy theorists are muddying the issue by acting as though the majority of children who disappear are being stolen by some sort of secret blood cult. They're not.
More than 2,000 children every day. An estimated 1 in 5 and 1 in 10 boys will be sexually victimized before the age of 18, yet only 1 in 3.
And again, the vast, vast, vast majority of those are not by some random stranger kidnapping them or doing things to them. It's from family members or friends of the family that are close to the children and can get them alone. I know that's hard to talk about, but it's the reality.
He will tell anyone. 800,000 children go missing in the United States a year. Well, let's do the math.
Most of them are returned, to be clear as well. They are taken by a non-custodial parent, and the vast majority are found.
Divided by 50 states equals 16,000 children go missing in every state every year. If 16,000 children organically disappeared every once in a while, not once, but more than once, the odds are you would stumble across the bones of a dead child. A couple
people do occasionally, but again, 800,000 go missing. That doesn't mean they aren't found. Most are alive. Okay.
A few times in your lifetime, especially people like myself that go out into the woods and way out into the outback, and we poke around and nose around. 800,000 little people go missing every single solitary year. How come that's not on the news every single solitary day? And then you discover that all these people that are multimillionaires, billionaires, superstars, famous people, all of them end up at some point getting thrown to the wolves and ratted out for doing this stuff. This is what—
Not really. If you're talking about the fact that many celebrities have been accused of stuff like this by conspiracy theorists, sure, but they're not getting outed because there's no evidence of the thing you're claiming. It's just conspiracy theorists doing conspiracy things.
What they do. All the people that are in charge of our government, and I'm talking all of them, are in on this. Don't be fooled. Do not be fooled in any way whatsoever at all. And here's the problem. A lot of people still want to have faith in Trump because he's making moves. He just reenacted the alien order. What is it called? Stand by. Trump just invoked the Wartime Aliens Enemies Act of 1798 to fast-track deportation of illegal aliens. And you know why he did that? I guarantee it gives them more power over us, not the illegal aliens, okay? Everything they do gives them more power. Trump is bringing in the New World Order. There will be a great reset, and their D-Day is July of this year. They are going to smoke the banks one way or the other.
That would be a D month, not a D day.
And every time you turn around, there's a new storm. It's snowing in California. Meanwhile, the Carolinas are on fire. New York's on fire. And let's not forget about this. Green flames coming out of a manhole in Texas.
Yes, different gases ignite different colors. That's funny that he doesn't know that. Did he never get one of those color-changing logs from, what fucking company makes those things that start fires? They're like special logs. Duraflame? Duraflame. Anyway, yeah, different gases ignite in different colors. Yeah.
Green fire. What does that even mean? Like, seriously, what does that even mean?
Benikagami says, nowadays a lot of children who go missing that aren't kidnapped by their parents are kidnapped by organizations like ICE. Yeah.
The only conclusion I can draw...
Gitara says, there's something to be said when people... But then it just cuts off.
is that somehow they're messing around underground working on their Operation Stargate that is out in Texas, and somehow something got away. Something got away. Because I was a plumber for 20 years. One of my tools was fire. I've made fire from this big to this big. And I've never actually seen green fire. I know that it...
Okay, did you even Google it? Like, I don't understand how these people function. If I'm out in the world or on my phone or something and I see something I don't understand, I don't start imagining what it might be in my head randomly. I go, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if there are answers for that. And then I look it up. Like, it's like he didn't even look up. Why is fire green sometimes? How do you get information? Read a book. Holy fuck. Your intuition is bad. You are dumb. Stop thinking you can just intuit things. Yeah, I missed bits, I guess. Where was... Did I? Damn. Double check. No, I didn't miss one. Tara says, press send too early. What I was saying was there's something to be said when even conspiracy theorists are able to see that Trump is doing a fascism, but other people don't. I mean, the conspiracy theorists are like half or completely wrong most of the time, but at this point I'll take it. At least they got there. Not really, though, because they say that about everyone. It's a broken clock thing. They're not seeing something that they don't see elsewhere. They just say it about everyone. If I say every quarter there's going to be an economic crash this quarter, eventually I'll be right. You know what I mean? If you call every leader of every country a secret fascist, eventually you're going to be right. You know? That's just how statistics work, as long as you're not describing something literally impossible. So, don't give them credit. They're not seeing anything reasonable, that it's just what they say about everyone. And in this case, they happen to be kind of right for the wrong reasons, and even then, not entirely.
It needs a lot of borium, and it needs a lot of copper in order to be green like that.
Okay, so you looked it up! What the fuck? Okay, so that's the answer! What the fuck?
But this fire was no joke, because the manhole cover flipped off, green flames going everywhere. Things are going on. These guys are making crazy moves right now, and now we've got AI computers that are available that are literally made of skin and blood and have their own digestive system. What does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that even mean? I don't have a clue.
Not everything needs to mean something. The universe isn't trying to send you a message. Things just happen. It's not meant, doesn't mean anything. It just is. It just is.
Clue. But it ain't good. It isn't good whatsoever at all. But of course, it's to help people. It's going to help people. Having a computer that's half made out of a human is going to help people that can't walk, talk, see, or read. It sounds like RFK, doesn't it? Except the problem with RFK is he's on Trump's team and he's one of them. The guy that's against this.
Damn, Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 20 tier 1 subs to the community. So generous of you. Thank you so much for all you do for the community. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
And the other thing has completely flipped on mRNA.
Is he at his job? Nah, this is a friend's garage of his.
You see what I'm saying? Now, according to him, well, we can get you a special mRNA vaccine and it'll cure cancer and it'll cure this and it'll cure that. I ain't curing nothing, man. I ain't listening to anything any of these people say. They say the same thing every single solitary time, and every one of them makes hundreds of millions of dollars off it. It's unbelievable. It's criminal, but
saying you don't like RFK Jr. because you think he's too pro-vaccine is genuinely fucking hilarious. Like, this would be like saying you dislike Thanos because you think he's going to explode the population. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? This is the opposite of his whole thing.
the problem is the criminals make the laws. Isn't that perfect, man? Isn't that perfect? I owed the IRS $13,000. I didn't pay it for 2 months. It went up to $27,000. I'm sorry. That's extortion.
That's a hell of a penalty. You should probably call. In my experience, it doesn't shoot up $10,000 like that in 2 months. You should probably call the IRS and see what that's about. Just a tip.
That's insane. Utterly insane. I was like, I'll deal with it when I get home. I didn't have time.
Overthought says me thinks he's leaving something out. Yeah, that's like absurd. You do if you pay late or if you set up like a payment program with the IRS, I've had to do before. There's a penalty and there is interest if you're doing a payment program, but like it's not like that generally. Like, that's crazy what he's saying. That's insane.
I didn't have time. I couldn't have waited another month. It's insane how these guys are doing things right now. And they get away with absolutely everything. So
there are other sources of fines. That's fair. Did he lie, maybe? Like, did he potentially, allegedly do something fraudulent and there were fines for that, maybe? And it wasn't just a late fee. It was like we think you're trying to defraud us, so here's a fine. I don't know.
At any rate, I don't know if that's, I think that might, you know what, hold on. Check this video out if you haven't yet. I put this video up on Jailbreak Overlander yesterday. EMP, mystery drone attacks, and war with China
or he's lying. True. That is always the secret third option.
Over tariffs. You might want to watch it or not. Your call. At any rate, I think that's all I got for now because I'm tired. I got to get to sleep. The guys come in the shop at 6 in the morning, so I got to be up before them. Unbelievable. What a life, right? At any rate, Richie from Boston.
Freyline says, I mean, the likelihood of a baby boom after half the population disappearing is very likely.
And for now, I'm out.
You don't have to nitpick every metaphor I make. Not perfect. But not everything's a one-upsmanship, chat. Not everything's about going, hey, but actually. Let's see, we got about 20 minutes left. We have enough time for 1 or 2 more things. Oh no! Truly, truly, truly outrageous. It's Wretched Recess! There's gonna be a slur in the first minute or so, I apologize. It'll be strike 1. We'll see how far we get into this.
Gem and the Holograms is a satanic tranny occult mess of a cartoon.
Satanic on the bingo card, transphobia on the bingo card, and strike one.
Over the past few weeks, I've been watching as many episodes as I possibly can because I want to put together this whole thing for you, and it's just kind of taking a while. So I thought I would touch base and just let you know what I'm working on. There's going to be more, like,
You ever notice that Hannah Montana is basically shittier Gem and the Holograms? What's up with that?
Probably a part 2, but I just thought I would make this video and show you what I have so far. Oh my gosh.
Is this current? Yeah, she uploaded this yesterday.
This show is insane. We covered
What do you win for guessing it was about Gem? My undying respect.
the Flintstones, and you guys really like that one. There is so much like hidden symbolism.
Yeah, 3 strikes should be on the new bingo card. And creepy laugh is a pretty good one.
Cartoon, and so hold on a minute. All right, I'm going to explain like the premise of the show, which is like completely ridiculous. Every episode of this show has like a little song, and most of them have like a music video because Gem is like this rock star.
That's her
and
whole
I'll
thing.
explain how like the band came to be, but the songs, like there's so much like in your face like occult references in the songs. So like I really wanted to wait until I had like the full thing, but it might take a couple more weeks. So yeah, let's just talk about some of the things that I found, and then I'll make a part 2. Look how scary he is. Gem is a total cross-dresser. Like,
she's not. She's a cartoon. Again, she is a cartoon character. She does not have genitals of any kind. They did not draw them for the show. She is a series of drawings. She cannot be trans in the way you're describing. She's whatever the show says she is, which is truly, truly, truly outrageous. But she's not trans.
or just like MTF, 100%, no doubt about it. The way they drew Gem is a tranny name anyways.
Strike 2, also, that's incredibly mean. Holy shit.
The way
Oh, I do want to point out also, if you want to hate Wretched Recess even more, someone in the comments said, Gem, make the M upside down, and she hearted that comment and was like, So she's like an anti-Semite conspiracy theorist into the JQ. Found that out today, which is a shame.
They drew this cartoon character and all of the other ones in the band, like they're all just men in women's
Didn't
clothing. But yeah, this show is on Tubi for free, all 3 seasons. It was on from 1985 to 1988. I don't recall ever watching this show as a child. I only started watching this show like as an adult. I remember seeing...
It's funny, too, because this particular shot from the intro, if I remember correctly, is rotoscoped, or at least it looks to be rotoscoped. So I would admit that this particular pose looks a little strange, but that's because it's animation being done over a live-action reference shot. So it looks a little weird. What's JQ? Jewish question. Anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, basically. The stereotypical conspiracy theory of a person who thinks that Jewish people run the world secretly. Absolutely horrific shit. Same shit Nazis believed. You get it.
A few episodes went back when I had an apartment, like, this is like going back at least 15 years ago. And it was right around the time where I was like really getting into like truth stuff and finding a lot on the internet and stuff. And there was one particular episode that blew my mind with all of like the symbolism and stuff. And I haven't been able to find it yet, but I found another one that's pretty much...
Phoenix asks, do you think Wretched Recess has her own gender identity issues? I don't get that vibe. I think she has sexuality issues. We've talked about this before, but some of the women that she transvestigates, she openly admits she had crushes on as a child, and she always goes, "No, that's why I had crushes on them. No wonder, because secretly they are, quote, men." So I think that she's bisexual or a lesbian, whatever, something along those lines, and she's uncomfortable, like, with the fact that she's attracted to women. So instead of just recognizing, oh, I'm attracted to women, whatever, that means whatever, I guess. Instead, it seems like she's going, no, I'm not attracted to women. These women I'm attracted to aren't really women. Which, of course, wouldn't be the case anyway. If they were trans, they'd still be women. But you know what I mean. From her perspective as a transphobe, she is going, I can't be into women, so these women I'm into are secretly men. It's sad. She's horrible, but still sad. Here's the thing. Most people who are quite evil in their actions have a pretty sad everything going on. Not always, but usually people who are doing great mentally and are really comfortable with themselves aren't super into being evil, you know? They got their own shit going on. So, it's great to have empathy, but also be aware, like, basically every evil person in history had shit going on.
Much just as bad, so stick around. I'm going to show you that one at the end of this video. Take a look at this creature, though, with the shoulders wider than the hips. I'm going to show you so many funny...
It was the 80s! Shoulder pads were in! What the fuck? It's always weird to me when they point out stuff from the 80s and it'll be women with shoulder pads or something with like a big shoulder thing. And it's like, do you not remember? That was the style in the 80s. Was like women with shoulder pads and big shoulders and stuff. That was a thing!
Shots. These are man legs, man shoulders, man arms.
If those are man legs, I wish I had them.
Man everything. Just total, like, cross-dressing, like, MTF tranny people in this cartoon.
Damn it! We only got 3 minutes in! 3 minutes into a 24-minute video before we got 3 strikes. Is that a record for her? Probably. Alright. Enough of Wretched Recess for today. This person is wretched? No kidding. No kidding.
Okay, my outstanding friends, shocker du jour. I've always been told, get a hold of Randall Carlson, and I think I did make some attempts. I don't think I ever made contact, but anyway, Steve Lindsay, who has been a fabulous supporter, pointing me in some fabulous directions, and I appreciate it, Steve. Thank you so much. Sent me this about Randall Carlson, who I looked into a little bit a long time ago. I got to be honest with you, it's been some time, but he said, take a look. The guy's got something to say. It's important, right? Well, I'll take a look. And sure enough, I agree. And I would love to talk to Randall Carlson. So if you can help to get me through to him and watch his episode here. This is quite long, over 3 hours. I thought I was long-winded. But he goes through, I've only gotten into a short piece of it, but what I have seen, I'm pretty well impressed. I'm sure there's going to be a difference of opinion on a lot of things because, as you know, and I have shown, that biology...
What's the feather? He just likes to point with it. He uses it as his pointer. Thing he likes. You don't know, this guy is Roger. He's a crackpot that... I think he's a former engineer that after he retired, he decided, well, I retired from being an engineer. It's time for me to get involved in every other field of science. So he's basically spent the last 20 years writing completely crackpot nonsense hypotheses about all sorts of stuff. He thinks mountains used to be giants that have just mummified, basically. Real strange stuff. Forrest Espion with a 30-month streak says, "Hello, Hannah. Glad to catch you live. Here's a video for Tinfoil. Does not have to be today, but this guy is freaking out over Lady Gaga." Oh yeah, I have this person saved. Yeah. And says, "Also, did you hear about this cute, wholesome cartoon that furries are shipping these dogs gay?" I have not seen that. I can't play the trailer because they'll probably demonetize me. Thank you for that. Oh, where the heck did that go?
Plays the major part of
He
of
thinks
Earth,
Jupiter,
and literally
he thinks that Jupiter birthed the Earth. Can't let that one go. Yes, literally. He thinks it birthed it out of its vagina. He thinks the planet has a vagina. I guess it could be a cloaca of some kind. He thinks it has an orifice that one gives birth with.
everything. So once you start from that and go forward, and the Triassic era with the red bed, the gray clay, and the black cap, which I live in the most excellent Triassic era in the world, I am in the exposed Triassic, which means the great dying happened on my property. I just go out and pick up things like this gigantic hair follicle. That's from some guy, gigantic creature, 2-inch wide hair follicle. I can go out and pick up bones.
It's not a hair follicle. That's a rock.
Meat. Rocks that look like a piece of meat. I mean, the stuff that was preserved here because of the Great Flood is just unbelievable. The perfection, the exceptional preservation. Even like my buddy here, Caesar Augustus, he's a goose.
He thinks that this rock he found is a goose because it kind of looks like a goose head from this specific angle. I should point out, from no other angle does this rock look like a goose head, but he has decided that this rock, he is adamant that this rock is a fossilized goose head.
Goose. And here's his feather.
Is it bad that I really badly want to steal that rock? Like, if Roger passed away, you know, knock on wood, don't wish him ill, but if he did, and he had an estate sale, and they were selling that goose rock, you know how much I would pay for that fucking goose rock? God. Green Guy with a $3 tip says, "I would not like to be the one to try to find Jupiter's clitoris."
Pattern right on the back of his head. His feathers. Oh, you see it? There's Caesar. Now that side is a goose. The other side is flat.
Wow, it's almost like it's a rock.
You can see his throat. The impression of his throat is still in there. But this type of thing, you have to know how to look at it and understand how to preserve it. Anyway,
so you have to know how to correctly prejudge before you look at it.
Thank you, my friend. Now, I'd love to speak with Randall Carlson, because he's got some things that I would like to discuss. I see some dates. I'm not.
Lisa Lamb with 100 bits, almost kicking off a hype train, says, "This kind of content is so foreign to me. I commend your self-control. I'm still in the outrage phase." Oh, that fades quickly. Trust me. I don't think anyone could say anything that would actually fuck me up at this point. I am numb to the existence of absurdities and atrocities. I have seen the inside of the human mind and the human skull. That was from Faces of Death, though. Either way. Innocuous Blonde kicks off a hype train with 41 months, says, "Woo, 41 months, Hannah. I think consuming tinfoil content has infected my brain a bit. Last week I was at the Museum of Natural History in New York, and I kept thinking of ways conspiracists would debunk the exhibits. By the way, great museum, highly recommend. I've heard. I would love to go someday. And I know what you mean. I have a little conspiracy theorist at the back of my brain, where if I see a checkerboard floor, or the color orange, or any of the stuff on that, like, Freemason symbology list we put together, my brain goes, oh, that's that thing, even though it's not. I know, I've trained basically a part of my brain to think about things the way conspiracy theorists do. It's disturbing. I'm like the mind hunter, but I'm also crazy, like Will Graham. Mr. Blast, thanks for gifting a sub, 0% to level 2 on the hype train.
Comfortable with, that's okay.
If you like the show and want to help the hype train, consider gifting subs. They help a lot, bits, etc.
Because he may have a different perspective. There was a lot of catastrophes. The one that I focus in on was the Triassic, the red bed, the gray clay, the black cap. That was called the Great Dying, the extinction. And they didn't realize, they said it took 50 million years. I have a footprint that is in the middle of those 3 layers. That happened like on a weekend. All 3 were wet at the same time. It was because we almost got hit by Venus.
Roger, we almost got hit by Venus. What? You're not a geologist. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting a sub.
The oceans boiled. It literally boiled the creatures' bodies and boiled out the red, fleshy, oozy stuff, which settled as a red bed. And then the body parts and things, and some entire bodies and bits and pieces of bodies dropped onto that gray clay and then were capped off by a black cap, which preserved everything. All right, that's why the stuff that I have it's called nucleophilic substitution. In this particular set of circumstances, where it was wet for a long time, heavy silicates, heavy salts, compression. They just stabilized, totally stabilized. Like they just perfect, like bones. I mean, it's broken. That bone is broken there, but that's a bone. It's the head of a bone.
Yeah, such a pareidolia problem.
There's no doctor could see that and say that's not a bone.
You know, I bet they could, and I bet they would. Why don't you get a doctor in here?
It's complete. It's got the fascia. It's got the little holes up at the top. It's got the cartilage.
2 minutes on the hype train.
It's got the ligament attachment. And there's that little white spot. I don't know if you can even see it. A little tiny white spots right there. That's the last bit of bone. Anyway, I have everything to support what I'm saying. And I have 3 DNA tests done on my specimens.
Once again, Roger, it's your DNA. You contaminated the sample. Do you know why they found human DNA on the rocks you're constantly touching and handling? Because you're a human, and you have DNA, and you got it all over these. So when you sent it in to get swabbed for something, they swabbed your DNA. What are you talking about? He's so bad at this. Minute on the hype train.
One of which was, I don't know if I showed you this yet, but it's a human lung. And it is. It's been DNA tested, Homo sapien human. And
he has no problem with pareidolia. He's trained it to a level of acuteness I've rarely seen. Yeah, like someone who's like, oh, do you have a drinking problem? No, I drink just fine.
Flat as a pancake because it died in a great flood.
Thanks, Lisa Lamb.
The heart was still here. The guy died laying like this, and everything boiled off. The fascia...
You know how your body boils off. That's how that works.
Is what protected everything and facilitated the fossilization. That's what my paper is, fascia facilitated fossilization, from 2015 up on academia.edu.
We read that. It's not a paper. It's a page and a half of him just saying stuff. It's not a legitimate paper. It's never been published legitimately. I have literally seen middle school reports that are better constructed than what he calls a paper.
Now, if human beings were here during the Triassic, which they
weren't,
claim, prior to the Triassic,
thanks for the hype train.
There was nothing but jellyfish.
Lisa Lamb, thanks for gifting another sub.
That's what Yale says. That's not true. Everything I have here was pre-flood and died.
How did academia.edu get that extension? I think literally anyone can publish anything there. I don't know.
In the flood. And a lot of places on Earth, those creatures died and were capped off by salt domes because of the precipitates in the ocean. So they would have died, sunk to the bottom, and then as the oceans dried up, the salt domes would cover up these bodies, and sometimes it's a mile thick. This was a serious event. And at that point, these bodies are decaying deep under these salt domes, 7,000 feet under, no, 27,000, I think it was. I forget, it's deep. Let's say 20, I think it was at 27,000 feet under the surface in Colorado, I believe. I was talking
You
to
should
somebody
check out the VODs, Lisa Lamb. I have literally years of looking at stuff like this.
in Colorado. And that's where they're picking up salt water, all right, because that's what a salt dome is, and the oils that have bubbled out and have nowhere to go. And they're under pressure and they come out. And then they pump back that water back down in there, the salty water, and it's got a lot of radioactive elements in it. Now, I got a couple theories on that. First of all, I know radioactive elements are very, very heavy. So they're compressed and forced to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they say, I don't want to do that. I'm going to explode. I'm going to explode. And it will. They explode. That's what radioactivity is. They say, I don't want to be this big. I'm just not comfortable being that big. And it throws off a chunk. And if you're in the way of that chunk, well, you know, but it's, you got to get hit enough times that it damages your, not only your tissues, but it kills your bacteria that lives inside of you. The bacteria is very vulnerable to these high frequency radiations. They just can't take it. They kill them. Breaks their cell walls. They're little living creatures. And that kind of radiation is invasive. So anyway, that's a whole nother issue. But Randall Carlson, I'd love to talk to him.
Lisa, you haven't even seen the one where he thinks that Africa has a dragon in it and that it shit everywhere when it died.
Maybe I can learn something. I'm always up for that. And he seems like he's up for conversation, 3 hours. that's conversing. Like I said, I thought I was good, but that's right up there. Okay, my friends, this is going to be interesting. They're showing this Stenosaurus, which is a dragon-looking thing. And it is in gray...
Is dragon-looking thing the technical term?
Clay. All right, now there was a time, the red bed, the gray clay, and a black cap. It looks like this creature and some other things he's going to show were here at that extinction time, and they just died and were perfectly preserved because of the red bed and then the gray clay, and the black cap was a very quick series of events because of the Great Flood. And when they drowned, or boiled, literally, because it was an impact of the gigantic meteor, which actually turned out to be Venus, almost hit the Earth and caused all of this turmoil around the Earth and boiled literally the oceans. And Harvard just had an article about it. Yes, they say the oceans did boil and created the Great Dying. And it did, everywhere on Earth. Now, I happen to be in a zone that the Great Dying layer is at the top surface, and I just pick things up off giant creatures, too, like this hair follicle. That's a hair follicle. That's the erector pili muscle, sebaceous gland.
That is a rock that you think looks like that, which is fine. Maybe it does look like that, and I can show you a cloud that looks like a giraffe. But it's not a giraffe. Never a giraffe. Unless it is a giraffe, but not usually in the sky.
The shaft, the root, and the tube, artery, and vein at the bottom. It's nucleophilically transitioned because of the waters and the heat and the silicon, sodium, and all that was in there during this boiling event. Now, he's going to be pointing out certain things. I'm going to stop it here and there because, first of all, we're going to take a look at the layering, and then we're going to take a look at the actual creature itself. And then he's going to show like a crab.
Word salad? Yeah, we can have word salad on the bingo.
Trying to hide or run away, and it finally just died, as they all did at this particular time. It was called a Great Dying. Almost everything on Earth died. And this was the Triassic extinction period. And my stuff is all Triassic.
Oh, God. I just realized if YouTube and Twitch stay around for a while at least, even after I die, people can watch my content. I'll never really be dead. Except for when I die.
And I have a human footprint in the Triassic rock in the middle of it. So it shows that all three layers were wet at the same time, which indicates it was the Great Flood. And it's worldwide, it's not just one place or another. So it was a worldwide Great Flood event. Gray clay, the red bed, which is the boiled fleshy stuff. And then on top of that came the gray clay, which is the body parts and bodies and whatever floaty stuff. And then on top of that came the black cap, which was the fallout of all...
My soul will be in the puppet. Most puppets do have a hole in their base, which would make me feel less dysphoric than what I'm working with now. Okay.
Nasty stuff that was falling through the skies from volcanism and fires and everything else. And that laid on top. So those are the three layers. Now, he's in the middle layer where the creatures died and they're part of the gray clay. All right, this is the Triassic mass extinction, wiping virtually everything off the face of the planet. And especially all the large reptiles previously grouped together as stichodonts disappeared, as did most of the large amphibians, the reptiles and all. They just wiped them right off the face of the planet. That was the intention, to wipe off all the gigantic creatures, and it did.
And that's it. That's the end of the video. My Blu-rays will survive, though, for about 100 years at most. Blu-rays, at most, in ideal conditions, will last about 100 years, according to manufacturers. So, my Blu-rays, if I treat them well, could last the rest of my life, and maybe a little bit after, but not much more. I do hope, though, we all die. I'm not trying to be morbid here. But someday in the future, everything willing, hopefully a long time in the future, I would hope that someone buys these or wants these if I donate them, or if they get donated when I die. Whatever happens to them, I hope someone gets them. I know inevitably, like most things that we create, this shit's gonna end up in a landfill someday. But I hope other people, other than me, get joy out of it after I'm gone. Even if it's just someone at a thrift store that's like, what the fuck, a Blu-ray? That's weird. People used to have physical... I don't know. Anyway, thank you everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. Another fun Tinfoil Tuesday. Nice to see you back, Lisa Lamb. Hope to see you again in the future. We stream almost every day, so we have lots of content. Anyone else, if you haven't already, consider giving me a follow here on Twitch or on YouTube. Give me a subscription. I do stuff all the time. It's always fun. The community's great. We also have a Discord. If you want to join the Discord, here's a link in the chats. You'll get if you join the Discord, you can get notifications whenever I go live, have discussions with people about a variety of topics, vote on what costume I wear every day. Fun. So consider joining the Discord. Alright, let's see who we're going to rate on Twitch. I will be streaming tomorrow. I do have to work, but I get out around 2. I gotta get up early, but I get out relatively early too. So I will be streaming tomorrow. Not sure what yet. Will be streaming. We haven't rated Lumi in a while. Hope they're good. Alright, have a great night, everyone. I need to urinate quite badly. So I'm gonna go do that. Have a great night, everyone. See you tomorrow. Sleep tight. Hope your dinner is yummy. And be kind to yourself. Night, everyone.